Oh yeah, he's awake and alive.
It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast with your friend Mike. It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast that you like, 'cause it's free. Here he comes now, with Billy Matched Up. It's gonna start.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. I don't have earbuds in, so I'm fucking uncomfortable right now. I can't hear myself. I mean, I can hear myself, but not in my head like I like to hear myself.
Is there no snare in your headphones?
Snare?
There's no snare in my head. Eminem is one
Oh.
of the greatest things on earth.
My
Oh,
fault.
man,
I
I'm
apologize.
sorry.
Well, no, because you know why? Because I immediately go to Anka with that thing where he's like, he's yelling at the band and stuff like that. Any of those outtakes are Casey Kasem or Orson Welles or all of those. But also, I'm still weirded out because I don't have any fucking headphones in. I don't have any earbuds in. And I'm here at Lily Von Strup's house. Hi, Lily. How are you?
I'm here.
And so we're doing this show, and she's wearing leopard prints, and she's covered in glitter. I was going to take a photo of us and put it up because you got glitter in your hair from last night. And boy, I remember those days. Anyway, I don't think I ever fucked a glitter chick, did I? I mean, I
Did you fuck a chick named Glitter?
well, no, but I fucked. Well, I mean, I dated I think I broke my pants. You know, the first girl with the bare floor, whatever the fuck. Who cares? Yeah, you know what? Fuck that. I had glitter in me after I wrestled at the Wounded Knee.
There you go.
When I wrestled in the fucking whipped cream, and I got the phone number at the end, and Cinnamon's phone number. All right, so hi, by year two.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it
Year
is.
two.
So, you know, this is really funny. Someone, I'll just say who, Colette, she's a listener. And she wrote me, she finally listened to last week's show. And she's like, I didn't mean to get you in trouble by writing on the Joker's page about the photo. I was kidding. And I'm like, you didn't get me in trouble. It's fine. I'm not in trouble. But she's like, but, you know, the thing is, you know, I truly didn't think you were going to get in trouble because you've sent number 31 out to people anyway in the past, the photo. And that was like, she wrote it in bullet points, and that was like number 3. I just wrote never.
Yeah.
I said, I've never sent a cock photo to anybody because if I had, honestly, it would be so unfunny to talk about it every week. It would be like the creepiest fucking thing in the world. What if I was doing it like this and there were like 5 people out there with my cock photo? It would just be fucking bananas, right? So I wrote her and I go, yeah, no, I never fucking send cock photos. That's horrible. Because people have asked. Certainly I won't. This happened a while ago. Whatever. People ask. Fuck it. I'll just say it. A few years ago, someone sent me a photo and said, now you owe me a photo.
Nice.
And I was very...
I like emotional blackmail via text.
Exactly. And because I had other people I've mentioned on the show who wrote me and they're like, I'll trade you. I want that photo. I'll trade you.
That's the thing kids do nowadays is they trade those photos.
Well, I'm not a kid. And also, I'm no great shakes. You know what I mean? It's like in the old days when you would get a fucking baseball card and you'd be like, oh my God, Reggie Jackson is awesome. My cock is more of a Larry Boa. I mean, you know what? Nobody wants a Larry Boa. Everybody wants a Reggie Jackson. My dick's a Larry Boa. You're not interested. What?
You already have a number for it, right?
Number 31.
We need to do a sports card that is just a photo of your cock with stats and number 21 on the top. And you can autograph them and sell them at shows.
You can always tell when
It'll
I've
be your
done.
trading card.
You can always tell when I've literally done nothing with my life for the past week, because we wind up speculating on how ways to market my cock photos in some way.
Who doesn't want a number 31 trading card in the Podcasters Hall of Fame dick?
Well, look, like I said, yeah, there's got to be, and I put me right. I'm sure Adnan from Serial selling cock photos, right? Well, I got to get a booth at the Beverly Garland and just sit next to fucking Eddie Haskell or whatever the fuck.
Oh my God, that would be so
They're
awesome.
selling black and white headshots. I'm just selling like baseball cards of my cock. Hey, what's going on? Number 31. It's not.
baseball bat first?
This is number 31 in a series, actually.
Oh!
I don't fucking know. So anyway, so Colette is just like, I didn't mean to get you in trouble. And she goes, besides, you sent that photo out to the other people. And I'm like, I did not. Because like I said, there's no humor in this if I actually had in the past. Because then because that would mean that there was 5 people out there just going, no, he really sent it to me. And still I'm traumatized by it. I mean, nobody wants to fucking see that nonsense. Even though, like I said, in the past, people did ask and offered to trade stuff for it. And one person sent me preemptory photos, which, and this was fucking weird, via Facebook, which that's not safe, right?
Nothing is safe on the internet. Everything is hackable by either computer engineering or social engineering. There's nothing private. There's no such thing as security.
Now you're blowing the whole thing. Now I got to pretend that somehow I've got this cock photo secured and nobody can steal it from me, because now you're blowing our marketing.
You know, the moment your phone is stolen.
Well, I will tell you this. Some dude left his phone in my car. And listen to this fucking miracle, okay? I drove like a motherfucker this week. That's all I did. I jumped in the car on Monday. I wasn't gonna, because I like, look, I have a schedule, folks. Here's how I like to comport myself, as you know. I got back to town, 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Wednesday. And I came and I recorded with you, and then I went home. Well, I told this whole fucking story, the Snapchat, the whole fucking deal. Yeah. So then I spent the weekend not talking to Jill at all. And then we were going to talk on Monday. And then I wound up on the phone with her and there was a thing. And so I went and drove instead of having the conversation. I stormed out, quite frankly. I stormed out of a video chat, which, by the way, you know how difficult that is to do? Holy Jesus. Because I mean, look, it's just slamming the door and running and walking. It doesn't have the same power when you just hit the off button on your fucking phone. It's just not the same deal. I mean, in the old days, you could hang up a landline. It was like, that made a fucking noise. That was beautiful. Yeah, right? But now you just bloop. That's not fucking satisfying in any way. But I wound up, so in other words, you know me, there was a discussion and something was said and I was like, oh, I'll show you. And then that's what I did. So I drove all week, man. I was in the fucking car constantly. And, so like Saturday I drove these, new money cocksuckers. It's just terrible. And look, I'm sure they were pleasant people. They're lovely. They weren't pleasant in my car is all. They were, I don't want to give the name, but it was a guy and his wife. And I picked them up in Pasadena. Rich neighborhood, and they come walking out. He's wearing a suit. They're obviously going to some fancy party in Beverly Hills, to some fancy company party, and just the way they talked, he was like a frat guy who got married and had kids, and she was a sorority person. Like I'm sure I'm painting with a broad brush, but they were just literally just shallow, just a couple of shot glasses and fancy clothes. I mean, they were just so terrible, and they weren't awful. Like, not mean, condescending, but just like, hey, dude, hey, bro, what's up, bro? Even at like 38 or whatever age they were. So, and I was like, these two are just, and I had to take them to Beverly Hills, and they're like, all right, hey, so here's the thing. We're going to stop and pick up a buddy of mine, and we're going to get him. And I'm just like, all right, I go, do me a favor, just put it in the final app, whatever the fuck. And they're talking about, like, they have kids. So the kids are over at the sitter's house, and then she's on the phone telling her family, oh, yeah, no, I didn't tell her that he wakes up at 5 every day. Ha ha, why would I do that? They never would have let us leave him there. Ha. And it's like, hey, your baby is a problem and luggage. You're a fascinating person.
That's
yeah.
not helpful.
We lied to the neighbors so they would take our baby so we could go do coke in Beverly Hills at a party. You fucking humps. And he's a sales rep somewhere, and he's talking about, we had that meeting, and they got the Christmas party, and we're going to go to Barbados in February, and I'm sure it's going to be a company thing, but we're just going to be at the pool most of the time, do a conference call. And I'm just like, literally that life. I literally was John Lovitz from Major, what's the fucking, Vagina Baseball movie. It's probably not called Vagina Baseball movie, but it's something like that. League of Their Own. And it's the greatest. He's on the train. I've talked about it on here many times. And the guy's going on and on about plumbing supplies, and Lovitz just goes, ha ha. If I had your job, I'd kill myself. Yeah. And he gets up and walks away. And that's how I felt driving, even shittily driving them in the Uber. Yeah. Because, I mean, again, truthfully, the only thing worse than being them and stealing company pens and going to Barbados and having a fucking cell phone conference call is having to drive them around and listen to that fucking story. So look, I recognize I'm a failure and they're better than me. Okay, we can get that out of the if they're listening now.
That's not how success is defined.
To you,
all right.
You can say that. You're not the one in the car for 14 hours, having people put on perfume. Yeah, or ask you to take them. Literally. 3 people choose pool, and then ask if you can make 3 stops. You're like, you cunts, pay your tab. Who the fuck do you think you are? That's literally, then I'm just a rickshaw. At that point, I'm just bringing people to fucking appointed things. I make $7 to take 3 people home. Get the fuck out of here, man. Not even $7. What was it? I think it was like after Uber took their cut and shit, I made like $5.11. Actually, I made 311. I made the band. The band came to my house. They played a concert. I had to pick them up though, and they were like, "Bro, we're gonna play the greatest concert, bro." And I'm like, "God damn it, failure." So fucking, God, I have no earbuds, and it's so fucking weird. I hate recording without earbuds. And you don't care. You're home. You have earbuds in though. See, fuck you. You can't judge me. You right now. You have earbuds in as you listen to this.
What if they don't?
They do.
Maybe they have you on a Bluetooth speaker and they're exercising.
Never. This show's not good enough for an anchor or a Bluetooth speaker. It has to go through. The show's designed for earbuds because of all the fancy After Effects we put in. Hey, if you're listening to this on a Bluetooth, you're fucked. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you what the things you've missed. Holy Jesus! Because right now, oh yeah, you're so sexy. Like if you got a fucking anchor, like a Bluetooth deal, why do I keep using the brand name? They don't sponsor this fucking show because that's the one I have at my house.
You have an anchor Bluetooth?
I actually have a Bluetooth anchor, and it tells you when your boat's out in international waters. It just starts beeping. Stupid. So they were terrible people, and then they're like, and I'm like, oh my god, these people are awful. And then I go to pick up their friend, and I go, these people are actually great because their friend walks out of his house, and there's three of them. Okay, and they're a couple. They're in formal wear. He staggers out of his house in like a blazer and a fucking shirt, and he gets in the back seat with them. And he's a big dude. He's probably like 6'1". And he jams himself into the back seat with them, and it's like, motherfucker, literally the front seat's open. You can and look.
He may not have known that. He may not be. I wouldn't know an Uber to sit in the front of the back.
Look, well, let's put it this way: never sit in the front of an Uber if you're the only passenger. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know who sits in the front? Germans and weirdos. That's who sits in the front. Because it's always inevitably somebody from another land, and they're always like, I did not know the etiquette of where to sit in your car, so I went ahead and sat in the front. It feels very weird to sit in the back. It's like, get in the back of my fucking car, Lucky Charms. The fuck, man? It feels weird to you to sit in the back? How weird is it for me to now have a buddy? I say a buddy and a bro buddy in the front seat now.
Brrrruddy.
I got hey, Brrrruddy. What's up, Brrrruddy? How weird is it for me now to have you there? Literally, if the only time anybody's in the front seat, it's Jill, and my hand is just firmly on her thigh. So whenever anybody sits in the seat next to me, it's just like, get out of here, non-thigh grabber. Can't happen.
I think if they sit in the front, you should just put their hand on their.
Hey, man, you know what? Brrrruddy, look what we're doing here. Thunk.
Brrrruddy is the name of the show.
All right, remember to tell me later. Because I'll just go fucking Baron von Raschke claw on just somebody's thigh and just clamp it down. Hey, man, you chose to sit up here. You basically said, hey, let's get handsy. So, all right, man, let's do it. Let's get totally handsy, Brrrruddy. But it's always some foreigner dude. And it makes me wonder about the cabs in their town. Like, I mean, it must be just a fucking nightmare of just everybody.
Well, there's only 2 seats in those cars.
Oh, yeah, they're driving a little smart car or something, some bullshit. Yeah, it's Ireland. They got
There's
that.
no back.
No, they got that leprechaun car with a fucking pot of gold in the back. That's it. Which, by the way, if there's a pot of gold in the back, sit back there. Grab yourself some gold. That's why it's there. But no, you sit in the front to talk potatoes at the fucking Mick at the goddamn wheel.
Wow!
I only meant the Mick is, and that's his name.
Okay.
Because I'm half. I can get away with that, right? Is that even a bad word now anymore? I don't think it is.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. That's a good word.
No, it is still a derogatory term.
It can't be.
It's just the Irish are now still considered white, like the Italians, and you know.
You know what a flat tire sounds like in an Italian Uber?
I don't know what.
I'm not going to say.
I don't know that joke.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I'm not going to do it. No, because I get accused of enough of casual racism on this fucking show.
Well, there's casual racism.
There is not. It's fun. We're having fun.
In the sense that there is on Family Guy, and that there was on Archie Bunker, and that there was on. You don't.
So,
You're not racist
please,
to be racist. You're racist to point out racism.
please point out more terrible fat fictional characters I resemble. That'd be fantastic. The only thing that goes is
them. I said
yeah.
the way comedy is
Okay.
presented.
I need to hear more. What about Francis from Pee Wee Herman? Do I have any of him in me, possibly?
He was racist.
He was just terrible. I'm saying,
terrible.
point out fat, disgusting fictional characters that I'm
I
like.
was pointing out shows that pointed out racism by using racism as a way to punch at racism.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Oh my god.
Now, take me home, Mick. See, here's what I didn't know I had a higher purpose. I thought I was just an idiot talking. Turns out I'm punching up at racism, folks. Look at me, letting racism have one right in the mush, right in its dark maud mush. How's it dark maud mush? Not the name of the show. Goodbye, Brrrruddy.
No, Brody is hysterical.
Brrrruddy.
3 R's.
Brrrruddy. You got to spell it for me and text it to me. Although I can't trust you. You're all fucking dyslexic.
I'm a one-eyed dyslexic. It works. It's working.
You're a
really
one-eyed, one-horned, flying dyslexic people eater. Purple. Fuck. Where were we? What were we talking about,
You were talking
Brrrruddy?
about the guy who squeezed into the back seat to annoy you.
Dude fucking gets in the back seat. It's like, come on, man. I don't, because again, other people, like I said, they just leap into the front seat because they're from other lands and they don't know any better. But this dude, totally American, totally a jerk. He hops in the back seat and he gets in, and this dude, all right, look, they're going to a party. All right. They had called him when we were on the way, and he's just, he was like, guys, just get out when you get here. And they're like, no, we've got an Uber. And he's like, well, we'll call another Uber. And they're like, no, we're going to the party. And he wanted to smoke out with them before they got in the other. So he wanted time to smoke up. He wanted to get them to get out of the car, smoke weed with him, and then they could call another Uber. That's how much of a fucking junkie this guy was. And they're like, no, dude, we're going to get another car. That's going to take too long. So we've got an Uber. He's agreed to take us, because it was, for me, fuck yes, because I got him at like 1.8 surge, and we went from Pasadena to Midtown, and then we were going all the way down to Beverly Hills. I was really happy. Was it Midtown? Where the fuck was it?
Why wouldn't they all just meet in Beverly Hills? What the fuck? People are weird.
Because they got to pick this dude up, man.
Why? He can't take his own Uber?
This guy couldn't tie his own fucking shoes.
Oh, there you go.
He comes staggering out. Again, he just literally rolls out of Spicoli's van and climb into my fucking car. He didn't need them. That's why I was laughing, because he wanted them to smoke out with him. This guy gets in my car, and it smells like Rastafarians had been eating chop suey all day. I don't know what the fuck happened to this guy. He smelled like, honestly, he smelled like Chinese food, booze, and weed. He just smelled like egg foo vodka stuffed into a bong. I mean, it was just fucking disgusting. And he just climbs in, and he's gross. I mean, I hate to say it. He's on his way to a party in fucking Beverly Hills. He's got a 10 o'clock shadow. His hair's chopped, but not styled. But I guess that's the way he's supposed to look. And they're just like, hey, what's happening, bro? What's that? Whatever, they high five and hug. And then he's like, bro, you got an iPhone charger? And I'm like, I do. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you have if you want to plug that in, you can play your music. And then you just tell me, I just got to turn it up. All right, dude. And they were great. They were really nice to me. I should say that. They were terrible, but they were nice to me.
Yeah.
So he plugs in the fucking phone, and I again, in my head, I'm like, what kind of music does a douchebag play? You know what I mean? I can't wait to hear it. Douchebag play. So I'm because I get people all the time, and I'll say, hey, I give them the speech. You know, hey, look, you guys can, as far as music, you can turn it up, turn it off, change it, play your own. I got satellite radio. I got 1 million channels. You can plug in your own thing. I don't care. And inevitably there's like, all right, well, I don't care. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'll turn on like Dragnet. and I'll even say, I'll turn it on. I'll go, you said you don't care. And I was in the middle of listening to this. I am more than happy to turn it off and play something with a drum. If you don't want to hear two white guys solve a crime from 1951, I got no problem with that.
You laugh at that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I will tell you, dude. Fuck, I should tell you this story too.
Okay.
There
We'll
there
go
are
back to Dragnet.
there are people who think I'm funny, and there are people who don't get it at all,
Okay.
and there are people who don't want to talk at all. So in the beginning, I'll give the speech, and they're just like, yeah, they won't even look up at me, and so I know, shut up. You know what I mean? But sometimes if they ask me stuff, then we'll start talking, and then I will have good conversations with people. And again, like I said, when I started this fucking job, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But if they want to talk to me and they seem genuinely interesting, because I picked up, it was weird. On Sunday, I picked up a guy he's a coffee roaster. That's his job. He works for I don't want to say the name of the company, but he goes there, they pick all the beans, he roasts them all. They make dark roast and Ethiopian roast and all these different coffee beans from different countries. He stumbled into it. He's like, I don't even drink coffee. It was just one thing where I got the job, and then I wound up working with the roasters, and now I travel to 4 cities in America, and then sometimes I've gone overseas, and we pick out beans and I just roast them for all our locations. He works in one location, and he's in charge. And I'm just like, gee, that's a fucking... So I let him talk. I mean, it's like, tell me about this cool-ass job. Right, because that's not something you hear about. Instead, I get that other dickbag going to Barbados and flying on a cell phone fucking conference call so he can dip his toes in the water and try to buy some cheap Coke. But this dude's got a real fucking gig, which was fun. And then I drop him off, and I pick the next woman I pick up, she works at a fucking dog clinic, but not a vet. They train and help dogs who've been abused or mistreated, but like a dog psychiatrist almost. Like Yeah, they got a little fucking couch and he lays down, you rub his belly, and he talks about his mom.
They work with behavior modification to make sure that they can trust again.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
I did. You still got to lay him on the couch and rub his belly so he learns how to trust again. I go to a therapist. I know how it works.
I need to talk to your therapist if she's rubbing.
Don't, because if she's not supposed to be doing that, we kind of don't want to hear it. Because it's working, man. It's working.
I don't know that it is.
Trust me. If that's coming out of it, I'm gonna have to look for somebody new. Don't take that out of the equation. So that scratching behind the ears for 15 minutes, and then the rubbing the belly for 15 minutes, and then we talk for 30 to find out about my mom, and whatever the fuck else I got going on in my life. So she talks to these dogs, and she's like not a dog whisperer, but she's telling me there's dogs who are just they've been abused or they've been hurt or they've had all these bad things happen, and she tries to bring them back to Dogland or whatever the fuck instead of having them all freaked out. And also, she works with blind and deaf dogs. Did you know that can happen?
Yes.
Oh, it's terrible.
No, it's not.
It is terrible.
Well, it's sad, but it's not terrible.
That's not so terrible. The blind thing's not so terrible because you're just, an ass is an ass is an ass. So whatever you smell, you're fine. But I mean, so it's not like no dog is like looking and going, wow, check that. I can't wait to smell that ass. They're just like, I like ass. I'm going to smell all of them. So that's fine. So blind doesn't matter to a dog. But deaf, that's not cool. You can't hear a can opener. You can't hear like somebody telling you that you're a good dog. Huh? It's shitty. Like, dude, take it from me. You don't want to live a life where nobody says good dog. That's awful. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Yeah, I want to hear that.
Don't you think caress and touch is enough?
Well, you can throw.
Sure?
Well, again, like I said, I know how that works. I go to therapy, so yes, it does work. But if you told Shannon to stop saying "Who's a good boy? You're a good boy," that would take some of the experience out of it.
Okay.
So I can't imagine being a dog and not being able to hear "Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy." I mean, because you're looking up there, and what if you're blind and deaf? What if you're the Tommy of dogs? Oh no!
And can't bark. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
you can't do any of it. You just open your mouth like. That'd be awful. And then you can't see. But the good thing is, look, if I can't, I tell you what, if I'm a deaf and blind dog if I'm a dumb dog and I can't, who's a dumb dog? Who's a dumb dog? You's a dumb dog. Brrrruddy. But yeah, man.
Brrrruddy.
Yeah, right? So, but if I couldn't bark, I would not want to have vision because I wouldn't want to see the horrible faces of the humans when I made that noise.
I love that that's what you think it sounds like when a dog can't bark.
Like a slee stack.
That's not what it sounds like.
It totally sounds like a slee stack.
Okay.
From Land of the Lost.
Have you never been around a blind, a deaf, or a mute dog?
Well, if I've had, they've known enough to keep their make a wide berth around me.
Oh my
Yeah, fuck yeah, stay away from me, weird dog. No, I've seen only normal dogs. Okay, I don't
What does that mean?
I don't traffic in handicapped dogs. Fuck all that. I like a dog that's a whole person. I don't need to have a fucking dog that's like, what? Don't say that. What? You're funny. You're trying to spin this like I'm the bad guy. You're spinning this like I'm the bad guy, but you're like, dogs aren't people. I hate them. And it's like, what the
I
fuck?
never said that either.
You totally did. If people could just see your eyes. She literally batted them so quickly like glitter flew up and spelled I hate them. So yeah, man. I mean, so she works with blind, deaf, and dumb dogs. She's fucking Nicholson from Tommy. There's a veterinarian I found that can cure the boy. A vet I found can cure the boy. That's Oliver Reed singing that part. Lives in town. Remove his sorrow. We can see him tomorrow. And then Anne Margaret. It's one of my favorite things on the Tommy album. She's eating chocolates, and she goes, "We'll see him tomorrow." She sings with chocolate in her mouth. Mm-hmm. Oh, Anne Margaret. Because again, every time I go, she's got cock in her mouth. That's what I think when I think of when I hear that line. It's not like bonbons or anything. It's like, because she's eating bonbons in the movie. But if you close your eyes and she's like, "We'll see him tomorrow," it's just like, yeah, take it. And it's not Oliver Reed's cock either. Fuck that. Fuck you, Oliver Reed, with your gay wrestling match with Ryan O'Neal or whoever the fuck it was. I like Oliver Reed. He's not a bad guy. He just died. Not just died. Died like 3 years ago, I think. A while ago. When I started therapy. I think that's why I went in. I think I'm ruining my life and Oliver Reed died. I'd better talk to a therapist. Post haste.
That was the signal.
It was it, certainly. Whenever he kicked off, when he shuffled off this mortal coil, I said, that's it. I got to find a couch and get my tummy rubbed. And then literally the first year of my therapy was her getting me to stop saying the word tummy.
While she was rubbing your tummy?
Oh my God, yes. That was the whole deal. It's part of the whole hands-on experience. Yep.
Oh my God, this whole show.
There's all sorts of different ones, man. I go to tummy therapy. That's fine. See, I haven't exactly kicked saying it. I mean, it came out on accident because I normally don't say it because I don't even like that word so much. Like if a grown man said my tummy hurts, I'd punch him in the face. I go, guess what? Now you don't have to worry about it. Now worry about your fucking nose. It's leaking all over your fucking terrible shirt.
Oh my God.
My tummy hurts. Get the fuck out of here. What a fucking loser. I hate people.
Why is that wrong?
Tummy? If a grown man said my tummy hurts, we have a mutual acquaintance who acts like he's 9 years old and I want to murder him in his sleep. The only reason I don't want to murder him in his sleep is because I want him alive to know what the fuck happened. I want him awake. The only reason I don't murder him in his sleep is I want him awake to know what the fuck just happened and is about to happen.
You have some real issues.
Yeah, I do. And I'm sure it's a masculinity thing and a man thing, and it's a very...
Your need to protect women, your need
Yes. These are bad things?
Yes.
No, they're not. It's not a bad thing to want to protect people.
It is not your responsibility to protect women. It is not your It is your responsibility to stand next to them and stand up for them, not to stand in front of them and protect them.
Here's what you don't know. I'm a knight of the round table. Aren't you aware of that?
Wait a minute. You work at a pizza place?
See, no, please. See, it's because you're a lily. You don't understand it's a lily because you don't have a protectable persona. But if there was a Guinevere or a Marion, I would have to absolutely step up and protect that person.
Oh my God.
You don't get my fucking anger. You don't get it. You don't understand my plight.
The Marions and the Guineveres. Oh my God.
They're happy to have me around. They don't give me some fucking bullshit lecture. When I throw my fucking cloak down and they get to walk across a puddle and they don't have wet feet and they're like, yeah, that's the dude. Fuck yeah. You get and then you know what happens? You get a tummy rub and then maybe they whisper in your ear, who's a good boy? Who's a wet cloak wearing good boy? Because I don my cloak right after. I do. Because it's better than donning my gay apparel. Although this is the time of the season for it, certainly. If I had any sort of gay apparel. But I don't know if my shirt likes cock.
Do your socks?
Well, they don't care for it quite right. I told you, I don't use a sock. Don't do it. No, that's fine. But you know I don't use a sock because, again, I wouldn't close my eyes during a fireworks show. Do not jerk off into a sock because I would not close my eyes during a fireworks show.
Always a myth.
Yep. That's the rule. It's a hard and fast one that I live by.
Oh.
So, what were we talking about besides deaf dogs?
You were talking about...
So I take this woman and she's... Well, first of all... Oh, that guy. There was another thing, too. So I took the lady with the fucking dog and she talked a lot. Well, because I asked, because I have thoughts on deaf dogs as we've...
Did you share anything?
as we've clearly seen. No, I didn't get to share them, which is why you get to hear them all. Unfortunately, she wasn't exposed to this sort of thinking. I wasn't able to tell her my thoughts because she had so much to contribute because she actually works at the place. What the fuck? Oh, you're an expert now? Please. I didn't get to share any of my fucking knowledge. But she did. She kept seizing the opportunity to tell me about dogs and things, and I would have a bon mot to contribute or a nugget, and I would get it about halfway out, and she'd go, "Yeah, well, the thing is, you know," and okay, yes, I get it.
Boy, you hate being talked over.
It's not that I hate being talked over.
You do.
No, I disagree with that. It's just
really. So tell me, do you really hate being talked over?
it wasn't the talked over part. It was the if you just have a monologue, that's fine. I'll sit back. But if you ask me a question, then I give you about 8 words on it. And you go, yeah, you know, the thing is, and you start to do that thing because again, she works with pets all day, so she's just happy to see a human being, quite frankly. So literally, because again, she spends most of her day talking to the deaf dog and he can't hear her. And then when she's asking for a response, they don't bark back. She's probably in just some fucking, it's got to be like just being in a fucking sensory deprivation chamber, but getting your face licked. If you're working with blind, deaf, and dumb dogs, it's just like fucking Jacob's Ladder. You know what I mean? You're just sealed up, floating, but you're getting your face licked the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the thing. She was so anxious to talk. She had an 8-hour shift to telling a dog, hey, you're not a bad guy because you lost your ears or whatever the fuck. So then she's got to get in the car and tell me what's what. And it's like, dude, hey, fuck, I'm not, you know what? You're not training me. You didn't get to scratch behind my ears and tell me I'm good. I know I'm good. I'm not deaf, motherfucker. I can hear you, sadly, with your long-ass paragraphs about how to make dogs not fear you, even though you have neck tattoos and you're a chick. What the fuck, man? Terrible. It was ridiculous. So, I what is that? Give me an eye test?
No, I'm blind still right here. So.
Oh, you were doing yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In the middle of the show?
Well, it just freaks me out sometimes because I feel like
there's nothing. Oh, there's something there, but it's not there.
Oh, okay, it's still not there.
For what you guys, she's staring. She's looking at me, but she's got her hand to her side, and she was doing. It looked like sign language because you were holding up. You were holding. How many fingers do I see? One finger.
See if I could see one or two fingers in that space.
Yeah, but I, because as a producer, you used to tell me how much.
I see the hand signal.
There
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah.
Well, or also how much time we've done. You used to write it on a legal pad when you cared, and you would even say,
You now run the time clock. I can't see it.
"You can't see anything. We've just established because of your bullshit hand signals."
Can't see anything.
You know what? Are you telling me I should bring this chick in to work with you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe. I'd like my belly rubbed right now. It's been too long.
Well, get her. We'll call her up. But she's telling me about how dogs come in and they're scared and they're timid and you got to go ahead and be nice to them. And I'm just like, you have a tattoo of an Aztec warrior on your throat. I mean, no wonder a dog is scared of you. He thinks you're one of the Sons of Anarchy, for fuck's sake. I mean, Jesus Christ. She's like, yeah, we have a pit bull and he was abused by his previous owners. And they tried to make him a fighter, and he didn't want to be a fighter, so he actually escaped. Like, he ran away, and he went into the middle of the street and just sat there until a car stopped and let them. And then he went with, like, he knew he was escaping from a terrible thing. Like, this dog was the blonde in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, it fucking, he escaped the house of horrors, and he ran out to the street and waited for the big black truck driver to scoop him up and put him in the truck. Like, that's, I was shocked by the wherewithal of this dog to essentially escape from a terrible situation and just sit in the street until someone stopped. And then he went with them willingly. Like, this dog knew that it was escaping he was willing to trust whoever the fuck came along because of what terrible things were happening there. But also, I got to be honest, man, it gave me a weird feeling because she said that they were trying to make it fight and they were abusing they were beating it up. Like, they were hitting it and trying to make it tough or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And I said, all right, well, we always hear the pits are they're really violent, even though, let's put it this way. All right, hold on. The media has told me that pit bulls are incredibly violent. Anybody who owns a pit bull will then spend an hour and a half telling you that pits aren't violent and everybody's stupid. But then there'll be a story about a pit bull eating somebody's ear. And I'm like, all right, well, what about the pit bull that ate that guy's ear? Oh, well, you got to approach him slowly. You know what I mean? There's always someone who's got some caveat about why this dog isn't dangerous. But then I've got evidence and stories about where this dog ate somebody's face. But you know what? We also got evidence that a guy on bath salts ate somebody's face. So am I supposed to stay away from that guy too?
True.
Right. And dogs are dogs, man. They'll fucking chew you up. That's their deal. When I was a kid, I got bit by a fucking dog who, I tried to take his food.
Why did you try to take a dog's food?
But not like all of it. That's the whole thing. That's fuck this dog too, by the way, because it's not like I took the whole bowl. Fuck him. He's eating. It was fascinating to me as a child. We poured it was that Pavlovian thing where like you put the food in and he just starts going. He just went to work, so he's eating really fast. And I was like, whoa, it's hilarious. And so he was eating so fast, he was knocking food out of the bowl onto the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there was parts that were kind of like, because it was dry food, like pellets, and there was one that was like kind of on the edge of the bowl. It looked like it might spill out or whatever. And I reached in and I grabbed that one pellet because it was going to fall on the floor. And he didn't even miss a fucking beat. He's just like, food, 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 finger, food, food, food. Like he bit all of it. He's just like chomp, 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 crunch, chomp. And he bit my 2 fingers. And as a little kid, it was one of those things where he didn't go to work. I mean, he didn't fucking take it all off, but he was kind of sending a message like, dude, this is mine and get the fuck out of here, which is fine. He's an animal. That's what animals do. Take it from one. Trust me, I know. Again,
you are not an animal.
Then let's set up a plate of food and see you try to take a fucking piece off of it. Potatoes, 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 thumb, potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. That's a lot of potatoes to be eaten. I'm not going to lie to you. That is a huge bowl of potatoes. How am I not sharing those potatoes? What a dick. I'm a bad person. Seriously, when you get right down to it, I'm a terrible person because that's a lot of potatoes. And if you want some, you should have some. I don't get to bite your thumb in the middle of a potato fetish. I tell you what. You know what? Now you, though, however, I'd share my potatoes. You know who doesn't get some of those potatoes? Mick driving my cab. Fuck that guy. Because he's the first guy to steal your potatoes. He's going to lurk in a green suit with a derby and make a fucking har noise and then fucking try to steal your potatoes. I'm going to go, hey, motherfucker, where's your pot of gold? And he'll hit me with a shillelagh and then we go round and round. He'll take a fucking nip of Jameson's and he's like, ha-ha, I'm a potato thief. Bahar, Blarney. Whatever the fuck they say. He's not a fan of that particular guy. I love the Irish, but that guy. He gives them all a bad name. I'll tell you what, that dude gives them all a bad name. Now, Tom Cruise, that's a fucking Irishman. Isn't that Far and Away? Wasn't he like a Blarney Stone dude who rode a boat?
I don't remember that one.
He had a fucking horse, like a white horse. Him and Nicole Kidman. It's Far and Away, right?
I don't know.
Literally, the only reason he made that movie is because A, he married her and she's got red hair. He's like, what the fuck? That's Irish, right? Let's make a movie where I can do a fake accent. Give me that cereal so I can get good at it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Tom Cruise did because he's a nutbag. That's who he is. Hey, let's make a movie where I can sit and eat lunch on the tallest building in the fucking world. That's awesome. He's got what's that movie coming out now? I just saw his face on something. He had Jack Reacher come out, which is fucking ridiculous. I didn't see it. I heard the first one's great and the second one's terrible. But it's Jack Reacher in the novel, I guess, is like this 6'7" monster of a spy. Which, honestly, fuck you. You've just invalidated your own premise. You can't be a 6'7" spy. You're supposed to be all sneaky and shit. They're going to find you hiding in a cabinet immediately if you're 6'7". The Russians are having a fucking meeting in a conference room and you're underneath it with your big fucking pointy shoes sticking out the bottom. Like, who the fuck's this idiot? That's probably Jack Reacher, tallest spy in the world, also least effective spy in the world. So that's why when they make the movie, they're going to cast an imp. They go, fuck it, let's go with Cruise. It came down to Cruise and that fucking Irish cab driver. That's what it came down to, those two dudes. And they went with Cruise because he got a name. And he had the red-haired wife. And Fair and Away, Fair and Away? You know what, it should have been Fair and Away. No, it was Far and Away. And then yeah, and then, like I said, he's got the closest thing he did to Irish is literally, I think he used the soap, and he had a wife with red hair. That's it. And then they cast him, like, done. You're in, buddy. So what are we even talking about?
The car with the woman with the...
Oh, yeah, the fucking dog with the tattoo on her face and her neck. And it's just like, and she's like telling me about how dogs shouldn't be afraid. I'm like, well, I hope they only work with the blind dogs. Because seriously, man. She looked like a World Star hip hop video. That's what she looked like, just waiting for that. She got in my car and went, World Star! Because I was waiting for her to do dumb shit. But she was pleasant and very nice. She spelled her name weird. I won't say her name, but because then I had to pronounce it, and then she's like, no, it's this.
Like Cindy with a Y, C-Y-N-D-I?
Yeah, but it was like, it was like her name was like Frank, but spelled it with like 4 N's, you know what I mean, or some nonsense. No, I will, this was not her name, but it was like this. Her name was like Patty, but it had like 2 E's and a couple of T's and like a PH. It was like one of those things. It was like way too many letters. So that's why it's always a personal challenge to me for someone when I pull up to them and I'm like, Shireen, because it's Sharin, because it couldn't possibly be Sharon to me. Because then your name is just taken from the lyrics of a 1970s love song, which doesn't seem right.
I never know how to pronounce people's names.
Well, because you can't read it. Like if you saw her name, you would just see like somebody dropped a Scrabble game, like because you're all fucked up. Yeah. I don't know if you're all fucked up. Some medical diagnosis.
That is actually the diagnosis.
Is that what they said?
You are fucked up.
You are all fucked up.
Exactly.
All right. So I drove her around. Dogs.
I want you to go back to the.
What?
I can't remember how you described him now. He smelled like Chinese food.
Oh, that dude. Yeah.
What was it? It was which dish was it? Oh, because it made me laugh. And it was so many statements ago.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It was like egg foo something stuffed into a bong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go back and listen to it.
I think it was egg foo vodka stuffed into a bong.
Egg foo vodka. That's what
Is that what it was?
Egg foo vodka.
Could have been. I don't know. I don't remember any of this shit. That's because it's funny. Then people will write me. Like somebody wrote something the other day. He's like, that joke was hilarious. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't at all. It's so funny when people do ask in the Uber when they wind up talking, and it's so funny. They'll say, why do you do this? And I'll go, well, I do other things too. And you know, because it like I said, it takes like 4 questions for me to even reveal it because I told you I lived in fear of that because it happened to me one fucking time and I'll never let it happen again. I've told that story on here when I worked at the pizza place, pizza. I worked at the pizza place in right. You remember, right? I did work there too. And I was working and I was funny. I was hilarious. And everybody was like, I would work the counter. Everybody thought I was hilarious at lunchtime. And it was like, I was banging the line out, getting drinks. We were laughing, having fun. And making fun of people, teasing them, giving them a bunch of shit. And, but busting balls, but having fun. And they'd laugh back and whatever. And then one guy didn't get it. And he was in a suit. He was there for lunch with a group of people. And he didn't like that he got made fun of. And so he's like, oh, yeah. And so he was just like, what are you supposed to be, a comedian? And, my friend Keith said he actually is. He actually is a comedian, and I'm in an apron. Yeah. And literally, you saw the guy's face. It was literally as if a fastball had been grooved down the middle of the plate for him. And I didn't throw it because I was very careful never to throw that fastball because I always knew someone was waiting to turn on it and knock it into the sands. And so Keith goes, no, he actually is a comedian. He works at the Funny Bone. And there's a beat and you just see this guy's face light up with a huge smile and he just goes, don't quit your day job. Yeah. And he was so proud of himself and he was so happy that he got to say it. And truth be told, I didn't deserve it because I was funny and we were having fun and he had started it with me when I came back on him. Yeah. I never made fun of anybody. I mean, we'd trade and have fun. We were just goofing around because obviously I'm still working, but also good for him because how often in your life do you get to actually say that fucking line, even though it's hack and it's cliche, but to be able to actually bury somebody underneath that fucking thing. I would, if I was a civilian, I would absolutely take that opportunity. So I didn't blame him and there was nothing I could do. I literally I'm in an apron. There's no comeback unless I untie my apron like Judge Reinhold in fucking Fast Times and I throw the pirate fucking hat out the window and I just drive the fuck off and try to start my life somewhere else because literally if this was a gunfight, he just shot the gun completely out of my hand in town and now I'm made fun of the rest of my life because I have a broken thumb and I can't draw.
In hindsight, is there anything you could have come up to say?
Nothing without being super mean. We're still it's very light. Oh Christ, I haven't thought of it that long. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? Because again, it just, anything I say is explaining. Yeah. Anything I say is, well, you know, the thing is, I'm working hard at it. I am funny. If you came to the Funny Bone, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can say. He knows that he's got, again, I'm in an apron, Lily. I understand. There's nothing I can say that defeats that guy.
This was one of those things where like you spent the rest of your life writing the perfect
comeback.
No,
sadly, no, because I know there was no perfect comeback. Literally, the only perfect comeback would have been to literally walk off and take a plane to the Tonight Show. And then to say his name on there.
You should have done that.
But that right?
Show.
Exactly. That's exactly what I should have fucking done. But I'm being completely honest. There's no comeback for that. There would have been no in the moment because it would require setup. There's no one glib line other than going to something terrible about, you know, well, I wouldn't, if I had your job, I'd kill myself because I have a job. You know what I mean? There's literally, obviously, I'm not a successful comedian yet because I have an apron on. There's no way to defeat that guy at that point. He's the final boss and I got to start over because I came upon him and he wielded it. And the thing was, I have spent my life making sure every opening was closed. As a fat kid, as a fat dude, well, but you know what though? You think 3 steps ahead because you don't want that to happen. So,
Such a rough way to live.
Well, but you know what? It's what you do. When you're a fat dude or as a woman, you're like, I can't do this or I can't do that or I shouldn't do this because I know what's going to happen. As a fat kid, I was always self-deprecating and I always knew you never give anybody the opening because they will take it. And you be armed with 3 fucking vicious lines for people if they ever say anything. You know what? Did you read the GQ story on Prince? It's fucking gorgeous. You got to go read it. If nobody's read it, I saved. It's just friends of Prince, friends and family with reminiscing about him. Did you read the story from fucking Jesse Johnson said, you know, because he went to live with Jesse in school.
Yeah, it was great.
And he said, if this guy comes to you, say this. He's got a sister who's like that. He had books where he had written comeback lines to everybody and jokes about everybody that he knew because he was waiting. And I loved it. I loved that because you know what? I knew exactly what that meant to be because he was short. Yep. So no matter what, it's even like that. There's that anecdote where he comes downstairs and it's all these girls who want to fuck him and all these people. And he just, I forget who it is in the story. He says something to him and he goes, yeah, but I'm still 5'2". Like he literally, Prince says that to a guy. And the guy said, I thought he was kidding, but I could see clearly he was not. I mean, we're all there at this party to talk about how fucking brilliant he is. Every woman in the joint wants to fuck him. And you could see that he was still bothered by the fact that he was 5'2". And I completely got that. I totally got it. So in that story, when he said to Jesse, he's like, hey man, if anybody says anything like this, you've got this line and this line. And Jesse's like, why don't I just punch the guy in the face? And he goes, well, because the guy's got 5 brothers and they will come looking for you. And he goes, all right, well, what was that joke again? Like that's the line Jesse has. And it's perfect because I know what it was like to be that guy. I grew up always having ammunition against anybody who would ever say anything against me ready. And I also never left myself open for anything, for any fat guy stuff or anything like that, because I was ready. If you came at me with it, if you come at the king, you best not miss, because I am ready for it. So, but I also tried never to step on my own dick because then you're leaving yourself open. And also, I didn't have much of a sense of humor about it. I mean, I can laugh at myself now,
No.
ostensibly. No, I can, but truthfully, it's one of the things that hurt my stand-up, and I've thought about it over the years because I looked at the audience as I was ready to fight them. I've talked about this a million times. I've looked at them like the enemy. So I never took a stage. I'm doing it now. After doing this show and kind of loosening up and learning a little bit more about who I am and what I do, I'm doing it now. I think it shows, like I said, 2020 last month was fucking fantastic. I had fun talking to a guy. You weren't there, but I had fun, and I talked to a dude. And I talked about it on the show here where I had a really good time making fun of a guy, and he had fun going back and forth. And he didn't take it like I was, whatever. So I'm in a comfortable place where I feel better about doing that. But all the time that I was on the road, I was waiting for the audience to say a mean thing so I could say 30 mean things back to them. That's no way to have fun. We're all there to have fun. Don't go, you see, this is the way I've lived my life. Rather than looking at the 100 great things I have, I'm waiting for the one bad thing to happen so I can fucking defend myself against it. It's weird. It's rough. And it's something I'm trying to fix. But it's completely truthful. Yeah. So I would go to a comedy show and there'd be 300 people ready to laugh. And I'd be waiting for the one idiot who didn't think I was funny. And so I'd be gripping. I was still funny and loose. But you know what? Outwardly, I was funny as long as I could stick to my act. But if I had to venture from my act and talk, which is funny because you literally, that's all I do is talk. But then I wouldn't want to venture from my act because it was going to be, I was ready to nuke from space, everything at all. Nuke from orbit anybody who said anything. Leave a fucking burning crater rather than have fun with them and joke around, which is what comics need to do. You need to make it look effortless and you need to make it look like you're having a good time. We're having a good time. We're all having a good fucking time. But I was always ready for a fight and it was a mistake. You know what I mean? I took everything personally and which is a testament to how much fucking talent I have as a writer that I was still able to carve out a fucking career in it, even though I was ready to fucking murder everybody in my way. But now I'm a lot looser. I think I've told the story. If I told the story about working with Pardo in Ventura, I must have.
Yes.
When the power went out?
Yeah.
Well, then all right, then I won't tell it.
Yeah.
See, your job is to say, no, I don't remember that one. Your job is supposed to say, I don't remember that story, so then I can tell it again.
But then you'll be mad at me for letting you tell the story again.
All right, I won't tell.
Oh my God, I got a message that I told that story before. You'll be mad at me for that.
You don't care about the show anymore anyway.
Let's go back to the vodka Chinese pothead.
Well, now I want to talk about my moment of glory.
Oh, you have more than one moment of glory.
Fuck you people. I don't care. I'm a doddering old man who tells stories over and over. I'm your fucking horrible uncle. All right, so, hi. I'm your internet chum and your horrible uncle who tells stories about the war. I was at Ventura Comedy Club and I was on stage opening for Pardo, and this is totally true. I was on stage and the power went out, the microphone went out, the PA system, and I was doing my act and it went out, and I'm on stage. I mean, there's nothing I can do, so I could have shouted my act. I could have done whatever because it's a full house. I mean, this room held about 150 people. In a smaller area, so it was nice. They were all on top of you, and I'm on stage, and they're just like, we'll try to fix it. And you can't sit down. You can't go, well, you know what, folks, we'll come back with comedy another time. You know what I mean? There's that because they're going to fix it, and I'm on stage, so it's still my room, and I was doing well, with my act. Yeah. But now I didn't feel like doing my act, so I started just making fun of the lights and the fact that the power went out and there were boats out in the water. I did, essentially, you know what I did? I did the first episode of this podcast ever. Because the power had gone out and I took the opportunity to be me. Instead of being able to hide behind my act. The facade was torn down and I had to do something to try to keep these people with me and keep them entertained. And what I did was I fucking threw up the full force of Mike that I had never done on stage before in that capacity. And I wound up like fake kicking. I would, every time I do a good line, I'd fake kick a field goal and or watch a home run get crushed into the distance. And I fucking destroyed. I mean, I've worked really well in rooms before and done great, but I am telling you, it was this weird miracle where all of a sudden I was like, these people, because then you feed off of that shit. Because then they're like, they like you. And I'm like, hold on, they like this? Well, then I'll do this and we'll do this. And again, I had no bits planned. I wasn't doing bits. I was talking about the stuff and the drinks and everything in the room and having fun. And that was the key. I had fucking fun on a comedy stage. What a goddamn revelation. And I was only supposed to do a half hour, but the power was out for like for 20 minutes of it. And then all of a sudden the power came on, and then I wound up doing like another 10 to 15 minutes. I don't even know. I think I did 40 minutes. And I came off stage, and then the MC went up and was, I think it was Danielle. I think Danielle went up, and she was talking, and she had to do, and I looked at Pardo, and I was like, dude, I did crowd work, man. Because that's the thing, in front of Jimmy, you just don't. And it's not even like he gets mad. It's just, it's a shitty thing to do is the middle. Yeah. If you're middling for a guy, you ask, if you're going to do crowd work, you probably should ask permission, because you don't know what the fuck's going on. But I also knew Jimmy does crowd work. That's his whole deal. So I said to him, and I go, man, I didn't do much crowd work with people and their names, but I fucking vamped. And so I walked off stage, and he just goes, I don't even need to go up there. And I said, no, I go, dude, you're going to fucking crush. And he goes, nah, dude, this room, there's nothing left. He goes, you wrung it dry. That was great. And I was like, well, thanks. I go, it was fun. And he goes, no, that's the best I've ever seen you. That was amazing. He goes, I shouldn't even go up. And of course, then, as I've told the story, he went up and he did an hour and fucking destroyed. You know what I mean? Left the place in ruins. So that's the thing. I always hid behind this facade and this act of whatever I brought to the table. And so then that night was freeing. That night let me see a glimpse of what I could do. And it's like that at Podfest. When you get your crowd, that's why now I've become this guy who wants his crowd to see him. So 2020 or Podfest, all that stuff. It's always nice when or when I go on the road and I was doing this stuff in theaters and people pay to see you. It's a completely different story because they're willing to let you go on these flights of fancy and have fun and talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. It's so weird. Like I wind up talking in the car to people and they're like, what do you do? And I go, I'm like, I do what everybody else in town does. And they're like, oh, you're an actor and stuff. I go, I'm a comic and a writer. And they're like, oh, you do comedy? You do comedy in town? And it's always that discussion. And I go, I have a podcast. You know what podcasts are? And they go, oh my God, I love podcasts. Oh my God, that show Serial is unbelievable, which always makes me laugh. I want to go, oh, so you got into podcasts in the last 2 years and you don't know anything about the fucking last 8 years of fucking brilliant podcasts that were put out there? Which is true. They don't. But they all want to talk about Serial. And I don't know if you know, Adnan sent them cock photos. So they're all excited about it. Is it Adnan? Who's that fucking guy? I don't know. I think so. He did it though, right? Yeah. Spoiler alert. So anyway, so people will always wind up talking about that shit in the car. But then I'll tell them, I'll go, because then they'll want to, I'm Googling you right now. Oh my God, your website is great. Oh, thanks. I go, yeah, if you want something, send me an email and I'll send you shows or give it a shot this week or whatever. I go, I'm warning you right now. You might not like it. I go, in fact, you probably won't. I go, it's a lot of swearing and a lot of shouting. And I go, and they go, what do you talk about? I go, anything. Yeah. And they go, and I go, it's about my life, but also it could spin off into kind of any direction I want it to. They go, well, what is it? What do you mean? Like you don't have a topic or whatever? And I'm just like, it's hard to describe. You kind of have to listen to it because I said, I call it talking at the speed of my head. I said, whatever comes into my head gets said into the microphone. The end. And that's basically it. And it's about whatever I did that week or 2 years ago or 30 years ago.
We need to just come up with an elevator pitch about what the show is. You should tell people that you do a cooking radio show on a podcast.
A cooking.
And then they'll tune in and be like, what the fuck?
What happened? When's it going to? Well, you know what? Let's do that. But at the end of every show, let's make like a ramen cup of soup. And I'll blow it. So it's like, it's technically a cooking show. It's just we don't get around to it for an hour and a half. So, but people will ask me about podcasts and like, oh yeah, I like podcasts, and they go, well, who do you do it with? And I go, well, my producer's there. And I go, but she's not on microphone. And they go, so what do you do? And I go, well, it's just me. And they go, well, who do you talk to? And I go, I talk to everybody. She's the audience. She's laughing, or she and I engage in a lot more conversation than we used to. I said, but yeah, it's just me talking. And they go, well, how long does that last? And I'm like, well, it's funny you would ask that. This week's show is like an hour and 50 minutes. I'm like, how do you, what? Why? And I'm like, yeah, I wonder the same thing, probably.
Why?
I said, I did a show, it was 4 hours once. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's right. It's crazy. I go, but for some reason, there are people who kind of like it. There's people who hate it, and they don't mind telling me. But there's more people who like it, which is a good thing. That's why I'm still doing it fucking 9 years later. Yeah. By the way, my job is driving people. I don't have this is not real. All right, so.
Yes, driving them to the podcast.
Driving them what, here?
To the podcast.
Oh, I see. I'm really driving them, but then figuratively I'm driving them to the podcast. So I guess we could spin it that I took Uber just to try to cultivate audience members, like one at a time. Sure.
One audience member at a time.
Literally have not heard from any of the people who've ever come on with the show. That I've ever told to listen. Like, I'm Googling you. I'm going to listen to you. No, you're not. Or if you are, you're going to go, what the fuck happened with that guy? But I also I have the image of people listening after meeting me in the car and then just going, that's that guy? Like, really? Because, I mean, I'm in the car. I don't talk, really.
Normal too.
Right? Unless you sit in the front seat and then I grab a handful of thigh. Hey, dude, what's going on? Clamp. So, where were we?
Vodka stuff.
Oh, that fucking dude. All right, so. But there was something else I was going to tell you. Wasn't there a thing about people that made me laugh? Or whatever? I was being funny in the car. Oh, I'll tell you that. All right, fuck. I'll finish vodka guy. All right. You see, if you had a legal pad, you could keep track.
I have kept track.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
he gets in the car and he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to charge my phone. And I turn it up. And again, I said I wanted to hear what a douchebag plays. You know what he plays? He plays hits. Like, that's the thing. Of course, he's not going to find anything new. He's playing Starboy by The Weeknd. You know what I mean? Which is, again, that's a very good song. But it's like, I wanted to go, dude, I could put on Hits 1 and play this garbage. This guy's like 40. He's got One Direction on his phone. I'm just like, oh, man. But then again, literally I could have plugged, this is totally true. One time I plugged my phone in and I forgot that I had an iPod from somebody else. And Color Me Bad's All for Love played in my car. And I don't care because I love that song, but thankfully there was nobody in the car to hear it. But I was just like, oh, dude, that's hysterical because I can't make fun of anybody else. I like a bunch of garbage. So he's just hopping, he's playing like hits. And then she's on the phone with her dad and they're talking about going to, they're going to some other vacation because they're all rich and they're loaded and they're talking about their baby waking up and shitting and whatever. But this dude is just aggressively smelling in my car. He's just fucking oozing MSG all over the fucking seat. He smelled like he'd been laying in a walk hammock drinking all day. That's what it was. So, and it just his breath filled the car, and I'm going, you're going to a party in Beverly Hills unshaven and smelling like weed, and he pulls out weed and she got in the car with a glass of champagne. Like, I didn't even see it. And I didn't know she's on the phone. She's like, oh my God, we're already pre-gaming. If you have children and you're using the phrase pre-gaming, just go lay on a couch and have Shannon rub your belly. You need help, man. You're pre-gaming.
Why do you think they're pre-gaming? Yes, they need help.
I guess. So she says that, and then she's like, no, I already have champagne in the car. And I turn around and look, and she's like, oh, I mean water. I mean, it's water. And I go, you got to get rid of that. And she goes, what? I go, I don't care if you chug it, but you can't sip it. I go, it's got to be out of my car. It's open container. And she goes, okay. And she chugs it, just fucking bangs out a fucking Dixie cup full of champagne. And she goes, oh my God, I've never chugged champagne before. And then her husband's like, no, I guess I'm going to get lucky, huh? And he grabs her knee, and they're disgusting people. So then I pick up the dude with the fucking, Mongolian whiskey breath, and he fucking hops in. He's playing his music. We're driving there. She's talking to her dad, and then she's giving me directions. Hey, do you mind if I tell you the way to go? And I truly don't. I go, I have no ego for directions, because usually those people take themselves 4 miles out of the way and make me more money anyway. I don't care. So they're giving this direction, and he's in the back, and they're talking about, is there going to be coke at the party? And just those, I mean, terrible. There's a whole group of people out there who live like that. That's their life, man. So I pull up to drop them off, and it's in Beverly Hills there's like a valet service outside of this house. That's how fancy it is. And they get out, and I don't know why I thought I'd get a tip because they're rich. And they want to be, and also even more importantly than them being rich, they wanted to appear to be big shots. Yeah. Because they were big timing everything in the car about the parties and the coke and the rings and the diamonds, and they didn't give me a dime, not a fucking dime. And they were the second people I took on Saturday, but they were nice, again, very nice people. And he's like, hey buddy, hey Brrrruddy, good to see you. And he's like, grab my shoulder. They walk off. So I drive all night, man. I drive another 12 and a half hours. I get home, I fucking zombie into my house, eat a can of soup, go to bed. Oh my God, I go to bed. I have a bed. I have a fucking bed in my house. Do you know how amazing it is? Do you know how amazing it is to be able to sleep naked again and not fucking, and just be comfortable? Oh my God, I love it.
Do you fall asleep dreaming of Mike?
Mike me?
No.
Mike who? Siegel? Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Someone's like, are you going to change the sheets? I'm like, no. Well, why would I do that? I'm not going to say this. All right, so we moved it into the house and we put it up. We built the bed together. It was like it was almost very domestic. Yeah, it was like I felt very much.
Did you take a nap together afterwards?
I wanted to, but instead I wanted to buy him a sandwich at a Gelson's. We went there and had some lunch.
And then you brought it back and ate in bed together?
I asked him how sturdy the headboard was, and then we had to prove just exactly how sturdy it was. So we did that for a while. But I have a fucking bed, dude. You know, it is such a, it changes everything. It actually makes me feel better about who, I told Shannon, because Shannon even said, I said, I have a bed. She goes, I was going to ask you about that. And I'm just like, it really did improve my life by at least 30%, because I'm not falling asleep in a fucking chair, the same chair. And he also gave me a chair. So now I don't even, my purple chair, my bed, purple chair, it's, you know, it's going to fall apart like the fucking Bluesmobile at any time, but it's in my living room, but off to the side. And so now I sit in the chair Mike gave me. It's all sturdy and stiff. And he gave me.
Stare at the new chair and feel bad?
Oh yeah, it's facing right at it. Are you kidding me?
You're a dick.
So, well, I mean, I literally, I'm going to donate my purple chair to science so they can boil it and get all the DNA out of it just for, and clone me and Jill. It'll be fucking perfect. Or make a me Jill. Oh my God, what if they cloned a me Jill? That'd be perfect. Just, another person that doesn't text on time and keeps apologizing. That'll be great. Another person who's going to claim that they're not upset even though they're upset. Let's go ahead and make that happen. But I have this new chair and he gave me throw pillows that are like they're not super. I have a life. It feels so good. It feels great. I actually look forward to it when I can actually go to bed. It's weird. I don't even know. I went off. Oh, so I came home. I came home to drop them off, and I my phone's in bed because I have to set my alarm to wake up, and I had to drive on Sunday, so my phone goes off, and I was half asleep because it wasn't the alarm because I know what the alarm is, but so it's ringing, and I'm not even fucking answering it. So when I wake up, there's a voicemail, and it's this guy, and he goes, "Hey, bro, you drove us in your car last night, and my buddy thinks he left his phone in your car." So I'm sure he did. So you got to bring it to us when you get a chance. All right, thanks, man. Call us. And he left a number. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and I knew who the last like 5 passengers of the night were. And I was like, there's no way they left the fucking phone in my car. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But in my head, I go, this sounded like that dick bag from Pasadena. Like it can't be him because they were the first passengers of the fucking night. Yep. So I guarantee fucking Long Island iced wonton soup went ahead and staggered up the lawn, and the valet took his keys and he dropped the fucking phone, and they're going to blame me. They're going to say it's on me. So I heard the message. I laughed. I was like, fuck that. So I got up, and it's Sunday. So Sunday, I was ahead of the game. I only had to make 8 rides to make my bonus. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll just go out a little later. I was going to check football, and then I was like, well, no, you know what? Get this over with, dude. Because I wanted to drive until 8. Nobody gives a fuck, but they have bonuses, and they're changing them in December slow, and I need money and fuck. So I said, I'll get out by 1 and I'll drive until like 8 or 9. And that'll be okay. So I actually got out about 12:15. And I walk out to the car. And in the morning, I always go in the back seat because I have to fucking kind of sweep out the back because people are getting in and out of the fucking car. And so you don't want your car to be dirty. Yeah. So I open up the passenger side back seat and I take out the floor mat and I bang it and I scoop out whatever leaves and shit like that. Close it. I go around the back, the other side. I open the passenger side, driver side. There's an iPhone on the ground.
Was there the whole night?
I don't know. I just see an iPhone, and I laughed. I was just like, ha ha. And I'm not even joking. I reach for it, I pick it up, and I turn it around, and it rings as I pick it up. And I answered it, and he goes, "Hey, oh my God, dude." I go, "Hey." And I said his name because I remembered his name from before. Is this blank? And he just goes, "Yeah, oh my God." He goes, "I can't believe it." And I go, "Dude, I'm going to tell you how lucky you are, okay?" I said, "Literally, you were the third passengers I took all night. I drove another 12 hours. I have no idea how your phone is still in my car." Yeah. He's like, "Whoa, oh, dude, I'm so lucky." And I go, "Yeah, it's crazy. The only thing I can think of is it slid under my seat. And then when I drove home, it slid out, and then I parked. I don't fucking know because I wasn't going fast. Yeah. And it's an iPhone 7. It's kind of heavy, but it's literally on the floor. I mean, I had passengers all night long. Someone would have pinched it. Someone would have handed it to me. Anything, right? Yeah. But in a miracle, it's in the back seat. So he's like, "Oh, bro, can you just bring it to me, man? Like I'm at the address where you picked me up." And I go, "Well, not the Pasadena address where we got you, right?" He goes, "Oh yeah, please. Oh my God." And I go, "Why? How did you leave it in the car? You were playing your music. Like you were charging it and played your music." "I don't know, man. I was fucking stoned." That's a good mantra. All right. I mean, it's an answer I can't argue with, because he wasn't lying. He was baked out of his mind playing music and yelling, and he could have lost this fucking $700 phone. And so I said, all right. I go, the thing is, I drive kind of for a living. So if there's a way you could order me as an Uber to bring it to you. And he's like, well, how do we do that? I go, I have no idea. You know what? I go, fuck it. I go, if I'm in that area, I'll call you and we'll figure something out. And so I did. I in my head, I got down near there when I was driving, and then I called him on another number, because he called me from a different number, and we worked it out, and I ordered the thing, and I got him his phone. But the whole point of telling you this story was I had his phone unlocked. And I picked it up, because he even gave me the code over the phone. He goes, yeah, just unlock it with this code, man. And I was like, all right. And I did, to make sure it was his phone. And in my head, I go, well, you got to look through this guy's photos, right?
No, you don't gotta.
Because he's going to have some good photos. I mean, this dude is just...
You don't.
He's baked out of his mind.
Privacy.
You know, I understand why he dropped the phone, quite frankly, because he's got pockets full of flasks. So there's no way he had any room to stuff it in there. But I backed out, and I had it in my hand, and I unlocked it, and I go, all right, well, you gotta look at this dude's photos. And then in my head, I'm like, well, do you really want to see this douchebag's cock? I mean, is that really what you want to do? And they're like, well, it's not really about that. It's about whoever's guest starring in any of his fucking performances.
No.
And I looked at it, and I had it unlocked. And then in my head, I went, you know, if somebody found your phone and unlocked it and went and looked in there, again, because as I've said before, everybody knows what I got. It's not going to be a surprise to anybody. But there may be some other talent involved in the films that I've involved myself in. There's a particular Midwestern woman who probably wouldn't want to be put on display for everyone to see, especially because A, she's in some compromising positions, and B, she's with me, motherfucker. She's probably like, you know, if I was just a movie star or something, maybe, but for, you know, that guy. So I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want anybody to look through my phone. And so I put his phone on the charger and I threw it on the seat. And I did not look through Chinese stoned alcoholic's phone. I didn't. I wanted to.
I'm really proud of you.
Are you really?
Yes.
I was like, man, fucking sweet and sour Cavassier has got to have something in there for me to check out. But I did. I was the adult. I was the grown up. And I literally in my head I went, I would absolutely not want anybody to look at mine. Like I wouldn't. There's no way. And so I did not. So that was the whole reason I was telling the whole fucking story, was because I had his phone unlocked in my hand. And then I was the bigger man. I decided not to look through and look at all of his photos. And quite frankly, how many photos of weed can you look at? Let's be honest. So I didn't look through his phone and I got him his phone back. But that's the thing, is when people drive, I don't, like with them, I didn't even try to be funny. You know what I mean? And that was the other thing I got reminded of. Sometimes I'll be funny in the car, and because I'll sense that they might get it, and there are people who just don't get it, like at all. I picked up a couple who was going back to Kansas City. They were in town for one night. They won a contest to come to town, stay at the W downtown in Hollywood, go to a concert, and then go home the next day. It was crazy. So I picked them. They're like, "Oh, it was a whirlwind." And I will tell you this: when I pulled up, I texted them. They walk out of the W, and there's a lady and another lady. Now, I will say that this person was not originally a lady. Inside, they were a lady,
Right.
But on the outside,
Right.
they were involved in some sort of mix up at the factory. And this brain got put into this shell, and oh my God, everything wreaked havoc until they grew up and realized, hey, I can change this.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I did know immediately, because they were together, and the birth lady was shorter and softer looking and had glasses, but the transitioning lady had almost the same kind of glasses. It was kind of cute, and but was also about 7 feet taller than the other person. And so and also I will say this: there's different categories for people who are transitioning. Well, it's not categories, I guess, but there's passable, and then there's Halloween costume, and then there's they look great, and this person looked great. This person knew, and I think it's because they're whatever they looked great. So I was very again. I got out of the car and I go, "Hey, ladies, how you doing?" And you could just see that glint, that smile, where to be recognized for who you were was pretty cool, and I felt good about doing it. So I loaded the luggage into the car. Yeah, absolutely, and as were they. And you deserve respect. If you are who you are, you should be respected for that.
Everybody should.
But then the thing that was interesting to me was they were a couple and they had kids. It came out as we were talking. And they were awesome. They were like really fun and funny. And they're also really wide-eyed about the fact that they were in Hollywood, and they were, a bum had approached them and told them, they were going to kill all white people. And there's like, yeah, you don't get a lot of that in Kansas City. And I said, why? That makes no sense because everything's up to date in Kansas City. But I was doing that with them, and I was being funny, and they were getting it. That's the best part. They were thinking I was funny, and they were getting it. And then because another thing too, this is fucking amazing. Right now we got a situation in Hollywood where they're premiering the Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, Hollywood's a fucking shit show because it's like people are in line already. It's down by the Chinese, and also they shut off traffic. And they were talking about it wistfully, and like they were like, because I was like, look, I'm gonna have to go down and do a left on Yucca because I can't go on Hollywood Boulevard. And it's gonna be this whole thing's a mess. Yeah. I said, because I don't know if you know this, there's an X-wing fighter parked on Hollywood Boulevard, and they were like, yes, oh my God, we saw it. We could see it from our hotel room window. We looked down when it was there. It was just sitting there, and it's surrounded by barricades. You can see it through the barricades, but we had a clear view of it from up top. It's so beautiful. And I loved hearing that because their excitement was so palpable that they came to town for a concert, this whirlwind thing, and they saw a fucking X-wing fighter parked on Hollywood Boulevard. And I live here, and to me, it just meant traffic. You know what I mean? You take for granted the magical place we live in sometimes. Because again, I'm like, oh fuck, I got to make 3 left turns to get around this Star Wars miracle vehicle that's parked in the middle of a city street. Hey, there's 4 land speeders and a tauntaun that are fucking lurking on Hollywood Boulevard. I guess I'll have to take Selma.
We are jaded.
Isn't it crazy? Hey, Darth Vader's having a lightsaber fight with fucking Greedo.
Everyone.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to go down fucking south and come up the other way. I mean, it's insane how jaded we are. But they couldn't believe it. They were just so astonished. And then we got pinged because they chose pool to go to the airport, which is a fucking mistake. Don't do that, people. I don't give a fuck how much time. Yes.
How many hours did they allow?
They had they had 4 hours, before their flight. And I'm like, and again, they didn't care. Again, they got fucking, they got hayseeds they got a straw in their mouth. They got, they're watching hee-haw on their phone. I mean, that's who these people are. So we get in the car and we're driving, and then we get pinged by another lady. And I'd already established myself as charming and funny with the people in the back seat. So we pick up this woman, and I call her on the phone, and she's like, yeah, I'm on the corner here. And I go, I'm never going to get to you on that corner. I said, I'm approaching that corner from the south. I'm heading north. If you can cross the street, it would really help. So you recommend I cross the street? I do. I absolutely recommend you cross the street. And they're laughing and she's just like, well, I don't know if I'm able to. And I said, I said, we have a Mexican standoff then, because I don't know if I can get over to you, especially with the traffic. I'm going to have to go down and around. It's going to be another 8 minutes before I can get to you. Well, okay, I'm trying. Let me try and cross the street now. The light just turned. And I'm like, yeah, then you can use the crosswalk and go ahead and cross the street then. She's like, all right, I'm crossing the street now. I said, great. I'm here with the flashers on. She goes, what are you? I said, I'm a gold Toyota Camry. She goes, all right. And where are you? I said, I'm the only car parked with my flashers on the street you've told me you're walking down. I'm on Vine. Okay, I don't see you. I said, we should probably look down Vine. I'm the only guy with his flashers on parked on the curb. Okay, I think I see you. Oh, you think so? You think you see me now? The gold Toyota Camry parked on the curb with his fucking flashers on? You think you see me? No other car at all with flashers for miles? So I see what could be her. And I even say out loud to the people behind me, I just go, she doesn't even have a lot of urgency. Is that just me? Or is that, and they're like, no, not at all. she's just waltzing Matilda with a fucking kangaroo down the fucking block. And she's just walking and just kind of like looking up at I'm like, are you from Kansas City too, that you're astonished by tall buildings? She gets in the car and she goes, oh yeah, hi. No, I didn't see it. I go, I said, yeah, I'm the only car here. She goes, oh no, I saw you eventually. I go, oh, because you looked up? And they're laughing in the back seat, but she's not getting any of it. Like, I mean, because I'm being funny, but also it's kind of flying past her head. She goes, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm here. And I go, yeah, you didn't seem in a real big hurry. She goes, oh yeah, I'm beat. I just worked all day. I said, oh okay. Well, I said, well, we'll get you home. I said, you're the first one to get dropped off. She goes, great. She goes, here's what you should do. I recommend that you go over these streets because the traffic. I don't know if the traffic's really bad. I go, oh, is it? Is the traffic bad? And she goes, yeah. So I recommend you go up here. She goes, and you should take a right. I go, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go up and I'm probably take a left because you're on the west side. So I'm going to head west. She goes, well, no, you know what? The girl who works at my dry cleaners, she said that you should go up and you should go right. I said, oh, okay. I said, so you think the girl who works at the dry cleaners should be in the car with us, or should we call her maybe to see if she has better directions? And she goes, no, I'm just telling you that the girl who works at my dry cleaners thinks that we should go up and go right. I said, so you think that telling the guy who drives professionally for a living what your girl who works at the dry cleaners does is a way to get us out of traffic, right? And I'm being funny, but she's not getting any of it at all. But they're laughing in the back seat, but she's just like, yeah, I think you should go right. I go, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go left because the robot says we should go left, and I think we should go left. And I think the girl who works at your dry cleaners is outvoted. And she goes, okay, well, as long as I get home, I'm just pretty tired or whatever. And then she starts talking about mystical bullshit, and she starts talking about the moon and crystals and how she went to she's like, I'm 40, and I live with my neighbors are so mean, but I know I'm going to have a kid one day and get married and it's going to be phenomenal. And I won't bore you with it, but I'm literally, every time she says something, I surgically place a line in there and I get a laugh out of the back seat, but she's not hearing any of it. But I'll tell you my favorite one. She's talking about getting older, but you know what? A psychic told her she's going to have a baby. She goes, I'm 42, but my psychic said there's a little boy coming. And she's like, oh my God, I hope there's a man with it. And she goes, I don't see a man. I just see a little boy in your future. You're going to have a little boy, and it's going to be, so stay calm and stay confident. It's going to happen for you. She goes, and I almost doubted it. And I was like, really? You almost doubted that? And I'm still driving, and she goes, yeah, I doubted it. But then I saw that Jerry from the Spice Girls she's having her second child, and she's my age. And I go, seriously? And she goes, yeah. I said, so would you say that having a kid is what you want, what you really, really want? Stone silence. I think the people in the backseat still laughing now. I am fucking great at this. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend on Facebook at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. I'm there, lurking. Go to Instagram, Mike40YOB. Some people are following me. I just got followed today by 2 people. And I don't know whether they say their real names or their online names. I never know. So I won't say any names. But thank you for following me. I should put up a photo. I haven't put up a photo in months.
On Instagram?
Yes. Let's do that. Let's take a photo before I leave here today, and we'll put up a photo.
Will it be a photo of you sans earbuds?
It has to be. No. I'm going to go home, pick up my earbuds. I will come back, and we'll take a photo.
Okay, thank God.
This wasn't a bad show for not having earbuds. I didn't hear it.
I didn't see it.
All right, look at the 2 of us. We need to get that fucking numbskull with the throat tattoo to talk to us. Come rub our bellies and scratch our ears. Again, I'm on Instagram. And also Snapchat people continue to add me, even though I've never used it in my life. You can find me on there. I'm also Mike40YOB. Add me. Send me a snap. I'll send you one back. I had someone send me a story, and I watched their little their story, and I did not know it was a normal person.
Normal people are naked too.
Well, I mean, they sent me a normal video. Yeah. Nobody's doing that. But if you send me a snap, I'll snap you back. Right?
I thought you didn't trade photos. We talked about that earlier.
Well, not those kind of photos.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, who cares? I don't give a fuck. I'm on there. I got to learn how to use it. It's actually embarrassing because every time I go on it, it opens up in the camera.
Yeah.
So literally you just see my feet up on an ottoman. Like whenever I turn on, I'm always like, God, you're the laziest fucking guy ever. Every time you open your Snapchat, your feet, because that's the only time I do it is when I get home and my feet are up on the ottoman. And I'm like, I should take this photo and put it out there. Here's me on an ottoman.
You should send that to everybody.
Oh my God, I sure should. So anyway, I'm Mike40YOB. Follow me there. Follow me at Instagram. I'll put up photos. I promise. Snapchat, I can't fucking promise. But Instagram, I'll put up photos. And then Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff. Our friend David Hernandez is available on Facebook at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. He does all of the cool ass artwork for this show and the music. He gave me a song, and I don't know if I'm using it this week or next, but it's going to be, it's a new one. Stick around. But he did a cool ass thing. It's fucking great. And I don't know if he wanted to take another run at it or whatever. He sent it to me last week and he's like, let me marinate on this for a while. So he is. And also do me a favor, cause Colette, who wrote me, she had a great idea. She's like, hey, Dave should be on Instagram because that would be a great way to network and make money for his artwork. And he and I have had talks about what to do in 2017 regarding the artwork. Cause it's just, to me, it's too good to just put it up for a week and then put it away. You know what I mean? It's always, he comes up with such amazing stuff. So hey, tell Dave he should be on Instagram. You know what I mean? And he should start putting his artwork up on there. And it's not like, what was the other one? DeviantArt? That's that joint. But
he could be selling his originals on DeviantArt.
Yeah, if he goes to DeviantArt and does that, maybe he already is. I have no idea, but he didn't tell me.
But through Instagram, he can actually get a lot more
notice, right?
Noticing.
People sharing it and saving it and all that stuff. So yeah, because Facebook, dude, Max, that's for old people, dude. You don't want to be marketing everything to goddamn old people. But that's what the fans of the show are too, which is good. Although on Twitter, I hear from people all the time who aren't on fucking Facebook. I should use social media better. But I've got plenty of places. Come visit me at all those places and go visit Max. Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. And also, he's at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. He's selling all sorts of cool ass Viking monster goddamn fight paintings that he's done. I talked about the selfie one, last battle selfie. And then he's got one where the Santa, he just has a new one where Santa cut off the head of a Yeti. So you got to check that out, folks. They're all amazing. If you go to artbydmh.com, they're available for purchase. He's got his Guyscapes. He's got his Valcons. No, he's got his Valscapes and his Guycons. I do that every week, perhaps on purpose. You can figure that out yourselves. And then, of course, he's got all the other cool ass artwork that he can do for you that you would commission him to do. He'll do anything that you got. If you got to pay for it, or you want to pay for it, he'll do it. If you say, hey, dude, paint my face on the head of a dildo, he'll do it. Of course, you got to send him the dildo. Here's what I say. Send David dildos. That's what we're going to do now. And then have him paint your face on it. What if he did custom painted fucking 40-year-old boy dildos? Although, you know what though? Fuck. The horns would really tamper with insertion. Because if the horns are on the head.
That's okay. They're small.
That's a good point. All right. Well, we'll just make, because like the rabbit. Dude, what if I made a rabbit, but it was me? Instead, because with the end of the horns were the ears, the ears of the rabbit. It's just the horns of little Schmitty. Dude, a fucking little Schmitty vibrator, like a rabbit.
Little Schmitty.
Holy, and we'll call it, dude. That would be oh my God, dude. We got to do that. We got to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, let's market dildos.
I would. You're selling underwear. What the fuck are you talking about?
Not selling underwear.
Okay.
I'm joking about selling underwear.
Lies, but we'll get to that in a minute. So
actually, I'm selling underwear. You're right.
Right. So let's get Dave to fucking create a goddamn, we'll just design it like a rabbit. Dude, I just want him to paint the mock-up so I can post it. Holy fuck, dude. Go look at a rabbit vibrator, but then make it like a little Schmitty instead of a little rabbit face and the horns or the ears. Dude, we're going to clean up. Got to be green, though. When
I think about the things that I want to insert, a small child with horns is definitely what I think of first.
You're overthinking this, man. You are totally overthinking this. Don't shit on my idea. This is a great idea as a moneymaker.
Nobody wants to fuck anything with boy in the title.
Well, we'll call it Little Schmitty. Because they.
Also, no, not want to fuck a thing called Little Schmitty. Sorry.
Well, you're the only one. I'll tell you what, out there, I'm sure there's plenty of people in Ireland who are thinking to themselves right now, I wish I had a Little Schmitty. I don't know why the Irish are pirates. Pirates. So Max, man, design it. We got to do that. Just paint the mock-up. All right. So we're going to do all that stuff and we'll see what's going on. But get Dave on Instagram. Tell him when you write him at artbydmh.com or at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. Ryan Dirks does all the audio stuff for this show. And he's the coolest. Go find him at facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Not the audio stuff. He does the web stuff. Fuck, I got to shut up. Yeah. I'm babbling. I don't have earbuds in. I didn't hear myself. I didn't hear the right thing there. I'm glad I caught it later. And of course, the producer of this show is my great friend Lily Von Stupp. You can find her at several. You can first of all go to facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. Her friend count is going down by the minute, so there's plenty of room for you to get bumped in. But again, remember you have to send her a personal note, a request via Facebook to go, hey, I'm a 40-year-old boy listener. I'd like to be a friend, and then she will include you in that list. She's at Instagram at
Lily Von Stupp or MNTs.
She's at Instagram at Lily Von Stupp or MNTs. She is on all sorts of different platforms. Twitter, many Twitter accounts, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, twitter.com/Boobdini. Instagram, she's at patreon.com/Lily.
Yes.
Or voteforlily.com.
Just vote Lily.
Votelily.com. But if you'd like to write her a personal note.
Oh my God, please do.
And find out why she found it necessary to put on underwear when I came to the door yesterday. You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. I've been doing this every week now.
Come behold him, ba-dum-ba-bum-bum. The 40-year-old boy, ba-dum-ba-bum-bum. The finest gifts we sell, ba-dum-ba-bum-bum, rum-ba-bum-bum, rum-bum-bum. Come Joe Bizley, ba-dum-bum, can it be a place to give or hear live breeze? The melancholy gangster, get a shirt with a big dirt on the front of it. Joe Business, can it be? Every child must be put upon to use Mike's link to shop at Amazon. Donate cash to his piggy bank. He'll send you a picture of his prank. I pray you want to download all the years, each episode. We'll see the day of glory. See the day when men of goodwill finally drive Uber. Joe is can it be? Can it be?
Isn't there like a jumping noise? Was he supposed to make it?
He is.
Well, where's the frink? Wasn't there like the crazy? So here's the thing. Where I'm at, of course, I'm at my the lovely Lily's house. Her Eddie, funny Eddie, has come home and he has purchased, or didn't purchase it, he caught it, right? A Santa Chew. Is that what it's called?
It's a Pikachu in a Santa hat.
I don't know what he
I like
is.
Santa Chew though.
He's a Santa Chew.
Santa Chew.
Oh, nice. Get some roller skates.
Santa Chew.
So I had to let him on the show because he's here. And also for our friend Liana, who I'm sure right now, literally Liana's right now, she's very busy at work at her law firm. And then that just happened and she was like, "Wah!" She was totally
You
happy.
have no idea how happy this makes me. Pikachu is my favorite thing on earth. I will just open it up and have it go, Pikachu, and make me giggle.
Yeah,
Like a 5-year-old.
that's fucking weird. All right, so it's not so weird. I got to be honest.
But this is how much he loves me, Mike.
Yes.
I can't go anywhere because I can't drive. I
Yes.
can't go out and walk by myself because I will get mugged and robbed immediately. I have one eye and I
Wait a
don't know
minute, you will.
what's on the
Where?
side.
Well, again, you do live in the Mexico section of Aleppo. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't believe I'll actually get mugged, but I mean, I could get hit by a car walking across the street right now. That's how not oriented I am to be out by myself.
I see. Okay.
So, I'm close to a 7-Eleven. I'm close to a nest behind my place where it often spawns stuff, but I can't go out by myself. So I can't go collect Pokeballs. I can't go. I have been out of Pokeballs like 9 times.
Oh no.
So Eddie got my password, and he will log in for me, and when he's out sometimes, he'll go by like 20 Pokestops and pick up balls and raspberries and all of that stuff for me. So when I'm here, I can open it up, and if something's in the alley behind the house, I can play. When I saw that they had the little Pikachu and a Santa, I was like, oh my god, that's the cutest thing ever.
And then
I knew I'd never get out to get one, and he found me.
He caught him.
He logged in and caught it.
Brought you home a Sanichu. Yes, nice. Well, good. So that's on there for Liana and Lily. That's it. The two people who care about that sort of thing. Which is, wait, are you showing me something else? Oh no. Yeah, sure. We've lost Lily for the end of the show, by the way, because she's just gonna be doing that and throwing balls at snakes or whatever the fuck. She caught like lion at you, gorilla chew, crab at you, and snake at you. She caught all of them.
I don't have a snake at you.
You caught a crab at you, and you said you're gonna feed them to your other Pikachus. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of weird. That's creepy. Look, I don't play this game. I should have actually played it on that guy's phone when I found it. I should have picked that up. Fuck his photos. I should have unlocked his fucking Pikachu and just gone shopping all day long. That would have been perfect. Hey, folks, you know what? I want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It's a thriving enterprise. It's a flourishing show.
Oh, it is.
You should go check it out. There's nipples on display and all sorts of labia.
There are no nipples or labia.
They're all there. A lot of spread ass cheeks, and you get to look right up there in the old bullseye. You get to check that out.
That is not how it works at all.
I went on one good night then. I went on the really good night.
I don't know what show you were at, but it was Monday Night Teas.
May not have been, but that's okay. It was a good night. That was a long time ago. Jesus Christ. I haven't been out of the house. I don't go out of the house unless I'm driving drunks around who smell like fucking egg rolls. But now you, Lily Von Strupp, still the producer of that show, and she's here right now. Hi, Lily. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Pikachu!
No.
Pikachu!
Again, Liana's got law work to do. Don't do this to her.
Pikachu!
Oh my God, a
We
double?
did it like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Really?
It's so cute.
Oh, Sanichu. So last night's show was a big show, right? You went. You were actually. I drove you because you could not get there on your own.
No.
Sometimes you can't make it on your own. That's what U2 will tell you. And so you were like, "Hey, dude, can you give me a lift on the day that your first day off from driving in 13 days?" And I said, "Sure."
That was very nice.
I'm teasing. Of course, I'm happy to help. So I came and picked you up yesterday. Drove you down there to the old Club Saurus, and then there was Lucky Deluxe. Our friend Susanna
Yep.
had her storytelling show with all sorts of sex stories and things like that. And then afterwards, there was a tease that you actually hosted. You got back on stage.
My first time back in 8 weeks.
And how did that go?
It was rough.
Well, it was physically rough, you said, because you had to wear. See, here's the thing, folks. You don't realize that prostitutes have to wear certain clothing. All right.
I'm not a prostitute.
All right. So but you're a sex worker. I've heard. That was what I was told.
Technically, yes.
Okay, so sex workers have to wear like fucking ridiculous shoes, and that's their
Well,
deal.
I chose to wear ridiculous shoes because for 7 weeks I've had no makeup on, no nothing.
So glam it up.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to get really dressed up and be really pretty, and I made the mistake of wearing one of my highest pairs of heels.
Wait, hold on. So 7 weeks of no makeup, no glam, no getting dressed up at all?
No banging either.
Well, no wonder you can't catch any of these fucking Pikachus. You'll catch flies with honey. So, yeah, they see you. They're like, we're not gonna get caught by that. But then you doll it up, and sure enough, look what happened. You got a Sanichu in your house. That's this speaks to you, ladies. Doll up. That's it. Forget all your getting good at math and stuff like that. Buy a rouge and a lip tube and go to work, and you'll catch yourself a man.
tube.
You heard it. You bet you should get yourself a man.
Oh my God.
So you went there last night, tottering in your colossal heels,
Yeah.
and you hosted the show. And were you funny? Did you
Yeah,
feel rusty?
I felt.
Did you feel Rusty Warren?
I met her. She's amazing.
Was she really? Okay, good.
She's
That's nice.
Really amazing. She's really sweet.
I'm proud of myself for tying that all in.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a highlight. That was like meeting what's her face from all the.
So that sounds like a real highlight, meeting what's her face.
Shut up. My mind went blank because I was thinking of a different thing, but I had the pleasure of meeting the woman that was in all of the Ilsa movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
My mind went blank. I can't think of her name either.
German girl, big tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Another one, very nice, very proud of the work she's done. And
She sat in the front seat of my car, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Did she?
Yeah, she
you
did.
have an
I
iPhone?
didn't. Are you kidding me? She was She-Wolf of the
All
SS.
of their cell phone numbers. People are amazing.
And they're in there as She-Wolf of the SS and
She-Wolf of the SS.
Rusty Martini. Yeah.
She-Wolf of the SS is the name that I use on a porn site.
Is it really?
It's like a kinky site where you can meet other people. So
So-
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Probably not. Well, now, no, but anybody who's on there now and sees you is going to go, all right. Tell me again how you're not a sex worker. So,
It's not a pay-to-play site. It's just a site to meet people.
well, it's been people ready to pony up some cash, I think, to meet She-Wolf of the SS.
It's funny. But I thought that was a great name.
Well, it is. It certainly is for anybody with an armband fetish.
So anyway, it was again. You know what it's like when you haven't done stage for a while, and I was scared to get on and even talk in a mic. I mean, it was
Sure.
It was nervous, and it was because I also didn't make a big deal about it. I announced it day of. I'm like, I'm up to it, so I'm going to be there tonight. I
Good.
had backup MC just in case I didn't feel up to it. So I didn't make a big deal of it and be like, oh, my grand return or any bullshit like that. It was like I went and I did my job because it's a job.
Well, good. But it turned out good, and you raised money for
We
whoever the hell.
raised money. We sold a bra. We sold some pussy grabbing panties, or pussy grabs back panties that are these clear plastic panties with a cat face on it, and then they've got all those spiky spikes on it.
Oh, like a
So
heavy
they
metal
can't-
wristband
so if somebody
spikes?
tries to grab you, they're literally gonna just skewer their hand.
Again, though, you underestimate. Some people are into that. I mean, that's the deal. Some people will grab a pussy no matter what is obstructing
Yeah.
them. And
Anyway,
that,
it was a great show. We had great people in from out of town. We had it was just a wonderful show last night. It was a great.
who was you had what Lonnie Lalalulu or whatever the fuck? Who was there? Is it
Varla Vavoom.
Varla Vavoom? There
We're
you go.
Making fun of that name because of the alliteration.
I don't know if I'm making fun of it. I just couldn't remember, so I had L's instead of V's in my brain.
Yeah, and then Maggie McMuffin was in town.
Of course she was.
Maggie McMuffin was actually a meme. I kid you not. She was thrown off of JetBlue for what she was wearing because they
I remember
said she
her.
wasn't wearing enough clothes.
I know who that was. Yeah. Okay. All right. So she was there last night, and not thrown out of the club because the less clothes, the better.
She did a great 70s porn act where she's in a theater eating popcorn, watching a film, and then starts dancing. And at the end, she's got red hair and a giant 70s red merkin.
Okay.
Fur merkin, and hysterical.
See, but at the end of that, some guy should wander in while she's dancing, like unbeknownst to her, and kind of like take a theater seat where she was sitting next to it. And as she's dancing, he should watch her, and then he should take the popcorn and eat the popcorn and watch her dance, and then put it in his lap, and then she should collapse into her seat, tired from dancing, and look at him, and he looks at her, and he looks at the popcorn, and she reaches in to take some, and the lights go dark.
Or she could do the really good, thoughtful act she had that made it about the power of the girl as opposed to the punchline of some asshole who makes a girl grab his penis.
He didn't make anything. She reached in to grab because it's a dirty theater, and that's the kind of thing you do.
No.
First of all, if she's in a 70s porn theater, what the fuck is she doing eating the popcorn? I got news for you. She already doesn't care about herself.
That's not true.
Okay.
Very empowering, wonderful act. You didn't see it. You're dismissing it. F you.
My idea was great.
No,
My idea
it's
is
not.
fucking great. It
No,
is.
it's not.
Get an Artie Johnson type to like sneak in and sit there, and then he becomes the audience proxy, and then he puts the popcorn in his lap. She sits down, looks at him, he looks at her, and then she reaches in for popcorn as the lights go dark. Because then it's all implied. You get it. You know it. It's a porn theater, man. That's what happens. Plus, again, if you're eating the popcorn,
You don't understand burlesque at
I
all.
totally
You
understand
just
it.
want to see tits.
No, fucking Lonnie Lalurulu or whatever the fuck. She was great. She was so great.
Anyway, it was a great show.
Good. And Maggie McMuffin showed her labia to everybody in her big red merkin.
No, you do not.
That was her meme. My labia flies the friendly skies.
You know what I have to say?
Yes.
About all of this
I'd like to hear exactly what you have to
nonsense?
say. What are you trying to say to me?
Nothing.
What?
Because you're mean to me, and I don't understand why you're mean to me.
I don't think
You
I'm
shouldn't
mean.
be mean to me at all. I don't get it.
Come on.
I don't care now.
Oh, yay. Good. I want to catch my stupachu.
So anyway, it was a great show. We have a great show next week. We're still raising money for Planned Parenthood.
Yes.
For the ACLU.
Hold on a second. What is Planned Parenthood?
Planned Parenthood?
Oh, Planned Parenthood. I
What
thought you said Plant Parenthood. I'm like, what does that
Planned
mean? It
Parenthood.
seems odd.
Planned Parenthood, ACLU, and IRAP, which is the International Refugees Assistance Program.
All right. So good. Well, we're raising the money. And so who's there next week? Do we know who's on the show? Who's scheduled?
Nikita's on the show.
That's Nikita Bitch Project.
Slutty the Elf is doing pickup all night long.
Always a
She's doing
fan of
clothes
Slutty
off.
the Elf.
Santa's coming!
Yes.
Oh, she is so funny. funny. Botoxic is just so funny in that character. She just went and performed in Arizona as Slutty.
Nice.
Yes, tons of people. It's gonna be fantastic.
Tons of people, tons of labias, nudity, nipples on display.
No labias or nudity, no nipples on a string.
Again, been a while since I've been there. Maybe you've changed
Although
it.
if you join my Patreon, you will get a topless Christmas card.
All right, well, we'll get into that in just a second.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's get into it now, I suppose. Join Lily's Patreon because she has a topless Christmas card for all donors.
It's
I did see it.
worth it.
Oh my God, yes,
It's a good picture.
of course it is. Yeah, it's a phenomenal picture. It's playful and fun and also very sexy because you're not wearing any clothes, but also looking good. And so go join the Patreon page at votelily.com or patreon.com/Lily Von Stupp or just Lily.
Lily.
Oh, just Lily.
The ground floor.
No
Lily,
kidding.
Literally,
So
I was like, let's see if that's available. You're shitting me.
nice.
I literally went, you're shitting me. That is not available. Well, because I was going to put Von Stupp, but nobody spells it right. So I
Right.
was just like,
No, you did
fuck it,
good.
Go Lily.
Yeah.
Lili.
So good. So there you go. Go to patreon.com, donate to that, and get your topless Christmas card from Lily. I mean, it's worth it. It's well worth it. Trust me. As a guy who likes Christmas and topless, it's literally she got
Topless Christmas.
She got Christmas chocolate and my topless peanut butter. It's fantastic. So check it out, folks. It's going to be great. Donate to our Patreon page. Go to brownpapertickets.com if you want to get tickets to the Monday Night Teas. Always available, and go help out those incredible organizations at least for the rest of the month of December. And Slutty the Elf is there next week, Nikita Bitch Project. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, Mike, this 3 Clubs, I've heard a lot about it. Well, are you ever there? Well, oh my God, it's weird that you would mention that. Next week, there's a show called 2020. It's a comedy show, folks. Sure.
He's very excited.
I bet he is. So he'll be there catching a Schmidt-a-chew, along with a Champagne-a-chew and a Grey-a-chew. It'll be me performing next week with Matt Champagne, very funny Matt Champagne, and the very funny Barbara Gray. These comedians will be there next week, and we will be Twittering and Instagramming and promoting it all week long. So tickets are available now. Still at Gold Star. They're $5 tickets. Those are available. You can go pick those up until night of show, or you can go get the $10 tickets. Why wouldn't you do that? And at the door, they're $10, correct? 12 bucks at the door. Look at that. You can get them at Brown Paper for 10. At the door, they're 12. Get them at Gold Star for 5. You know what? Buy one from each for 27. Why not? Why wouldn't you do that? Donate to the show. Help it out. It's Christmas. So come on in and see me and Barbara Gray, and the very funny Matt Champagne. And then I have other people coming in other months that I'll tell you about later. But this week, December 19th, Monday. And then stick around, man, for the Nikita Bitch Project and Slutty the Elf. Perhaps I will. Perhaps I will do that on a Monday night. Who knows? I have been threatening to do that for years, and I have not seen the show in quite a while. And again, it sounds like you made a lot of changes. You took the nipples and the labias out of it, so I want to see what this new product is like. So perhaps I'll stick around. But I mean, I'll tell you what, come on out. And again, we always go out for a sandwich or a taco perhaps afterwards, and then come back and watch the actual show. Do that, man. Let's support both shows next week. It's Christmas. Fuck, man. So yeah. So hey, I'll tell you this. This show is sponsored by MileIQ.com. They don't even know that. But go to MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. Sign up for your miles to keep your miles intact and let your tax people know all about it. And that's the fake sponsor. They don't even know about it. But the real sponsor for this show, as you know, is GetTheButters.com. Our friend Jerome selling black guy spit as lube for your sexual adventures. Selling soap and all sorts of lotions and things like that. And I know you're thinking to yourself, you're like, well, hold on, what does this mean? Well, I mean, it means handmade, all-natural products made from vegan and organic ingredients at incredible prices, always free of preservatives, always free of additives, and it says always free of bullshit, but that's unless I'm describing it. If I'm describing it, plenty of bullshit to be had. Like this, if you buy today using our code 40YOB, everything's free. You don't have to pay a dime. Sure, it'll say it charges your credit card, but at the end of the month, those charges will magically vanish. See, that's some of the bullshit I'm describing as I talk about their products. Like, I say that there's all sorts of sex products there. There's all sorts of lubes and candles, and there's a bath bomb and a carrot gem and a fucking... Dude, there's all sorts of crazy stuff. There's lube. There's organic lip balm. Here's my question, or not even a question. This is my warning to you. Don't mix those two up. Do not mix up the lube and the balm. Now, look, I will tell you this. There's nothing wrong with wearing lip balm and getting some lube on it, because there's a way, but don't just be outside and go like, whoa, brr, I get chapped lips, and put lube on your lips. That will not be enjoyable for you at all. That'll be like the time I put fucking lube in my hair to style it. Remember that story from year fucking 5? That was grim, but I'm here to tell you, I'll tell you what though, if you do make that same accident here with the Butters lube, your hair will still look terrific. You can put their lube in your hair. Go buy the organic raw black soap. I know it sounds like a rap album. It actually sounds like a daytime cereal on BET, but it's not. The organic raw black soap. You've got argan oil, that's 100% pure organic. You got cocoa butter, it's raw, unrefined, organic, and pure. Again, as I've mentioned, the lube, there's original bath bombs, there's scents experiments. They're all uniquely tuned to, here's my favorite thing. There's the Butter's original scent experiments, okay? And this is Jerome's description. These versions of the Butter's original 4-ounce jars feature new handcrafted scents. Each one is uniquely tuned to my tastes. I think you're going to love them. Well, aren't we fucking haughty and confident in ourselves, Jerome? They're your scents, but you think we're going to love them? Why don't you call me and ask me what I like and then turn that into a goddamn lube? How about that? God knows I want a lube that smells like fucking carnitas. Wouldn't that be fucking amazing? You're right. It would not. But go to getthebutters.com. Absolutely. I agree with you. Absolutely. Go to getthebutters.com, getthebutters.com. I will tell you this, there were sales made last week using our code 40YOB. Always use the code 40YOB. And you will save money and everything's going to be great. You get 8% off. And it turns out to be a good deal for you, for Jerome, for me. Again, he gets money, we get money, you get stuff. That's the best way to do things. We triangulate. So buy some lube, buy some bath bombs, buy some candles, buy some lip balm at getthebutters.com. And seriously, make this a melanin Christmas. Why wouldn't you do that for Jerome? Why is that my selling point? All the products are really good. Sure, why not? Put a little melanin in your Christmas.
You would have a skin Christmas.
Make this a skin Christmas. All right, I can go with that.
Yeah,
But
because that works both ways.
yeah, I suppose. All right, so all of that is go to getthebutters.com and have cool things happen with you and your friends with your lip balm and your lube. Buy it all. Use the code 40YOB. Thanks, Jerome. Please remember, again, like I said, 2020 is coming up. Go to our website, MikeSchmidtComedy.com. It's a cool website. It's really good. We've got all sorts of pages on there with cool stuff, but go to the Joe Business page. We're selling stuff. We're selling t-shirts. We're selling downloads, all the stuff that you know about. But more importantly, use our Amazon link for all of your Christmas shopping. Did you use it?
I did.
What did you purchase?
I bought TurboTax.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, thank you for that. That's really cool. I have to double check and make sure it went through.
I hope so, because I went and clicked on the little Schmitty with his hand out, and I went, it's not there. And then I went over and I clicked on another link, and I went, it's not there. And I was like, I can't fucking see. And I'm like, Eddie, where do you see the link? And he's like, right there. And I'm like, okay. Can't fucking see anything. But I found it, and I went to Amazon, and I went and I got it, and I bought it, and I put it in my thing, and it came. So. Okay.
So ignore about 3/4 of that. Because she made it sound like the Bataan Death March of fucking shopping links.
I couldn't see.
Well, because you can't, certainly, yes. You need more of your fucking hands to the side watching yourself give hand signals.
It sucks.
So go, of course you cannot. So please, folks, please, hear me out. Go there and click on the Amazon link. And as I mentioned, there's our Amazon store. We've got stuff that 40-year-old boy recommends that we like. But then there's a page called Naked Cash Grab where you can buy all sorts of expensive items, high ticket items. So that's what you want to do. But if you want to go to the actual Amazon store, go ahead and go into our black and red store. And in the upper left-hand corner, there's a Powered by Amazon link. Click through that, and then there you are.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and then you're lurking in our store, and then they get money, we get money, you get stuff. Again, it can't be topped. That's a fantastic arrangement. So please use our Amazon link for all of your Christmas shopping. And I love when you tell me that stuff's happening. Go ahead and let me know what you bought or you didn't buy or whatever. And if you want to send us Christmas stuff, which some people do, and also, by the way, Jerome, let's talk about this for just a second. There is a P.O. box. That's what I was going to mention. People tell me all the time, dude, what's your P.O. box number? I'm totally sending you stuff. And I like anthrax, so I go ahead and hand it out willy-nilly. I tell everybody where the fuck to send their stuff. And I went today. People have been asking me for 3 weeks. I've had at least 8 people say, what's your P.O. box number? And I went today, nothing in the P.O. box. So if you're sending stuff, tell me you send it. That's all I ask, because then I'll know whether to follow up with, because if you ask me for the address, I assume you're sending things. So it's literally 8 people in the past 4 weeks have asked for the address, and then I haven't received anything, which makes me hope it's not lost. And I know things are slow for Christmas. Jerome, you're supposed to be sending us some samples of lubes and bath bombs. And, I came here this week all ready to get lubed up and fucking squared away. And no, nothing, no samples. That's a lie. I did not come here ready to do that. Yes?
If you use the bath bomb, will you take some selfies in the bathtub for your Instagram account, or will those go on Snapchat?
Perhaps I'll sell them on your Patreon page. Well, you want to see? I'll put out a topless Christmas card of my own. Oh, sure, it's fucking.
Grinch or Santa?
Wow. Well, everybody who sees it's going to turn green, so I'll go Santa.
Okay.
So good. So there you go. So go to Go use our Amazon link, please. But if you're using the P.O. box, tell me you've sent something so I know to expect it. And if you're not, and please, if you're not sending anything, don't worry about it. I don't care. If you just wanted the address or whatever the fuck, that's fine. So, look, some people are impeccable. They want record keepers. They're the people who are like, I need every last ounce of information about this guy. So, oh, and also, by the way, if we have the download sets and stuff, and people are still waiting on things. I'm still working on Dropbox and trying to figure all that stuff out. Thank you for people who've written me with suggestions. I'm still figuring it out. I've been driving a lot, so I haven't gotten a chance to really sit down and tackle it. But I'll get you your stuff, I promise. But yeah, so I didn't know if they just wanted the P.O. box or whatever. But if you're sending something, please tell me it's on the way or you're sending it. Because then I'll have a general idea and I can know when to go check it and I'll know that something's coming and I won't have to worry when I go and I find an empty box when I thought 8 people were sending me things. But let's talk about this. We have a friend, a man who runs the show. He doesn't run the show, but our fan, Chuck. You may remember Chuck from his previous adventures of, hey, Mike, take my GoPro to Kuwait. And hey, Mike, if you do a Kickstarter, I'd like to help out with some homemade honey. That's from previous adventures with Chuck. Well, Chuck asked for my P.O. box number and he was one of the 8 and there was nothing there. But then Chuck texted me and he's like, so he's telling me something's on the way, but here's again, Chuck is, I think, our friend. I hope he's our friend, because here's what I get from Chuck. Hey, I'm sending you guys something, to the P.O. box. Do me a favor. Don't open it till the last episode of the year. That's important. It's got, just some stuff in there. I don't want to go into what it is, but it's important that you open it up the last episode of the year. And I don't know if he created a robot that will actually shoot a bullet when you open an envelope, because remember we always talk about the show's going to end with a gunshot. I don't know if it's just death incarnate. I don't know if there's going to be like a ferret or something in the. Oh, actually, no. Diane sent us some ferrets. I don't know if it'll be just like a weasel or something in the end. I don't know. It made me laugh because I'm like, I have no idea what you could because again, that's even after Christmas. That's like New Year's week, I believe. And he's like, send it to us, please open this for the last episode of the year. So look, folks, if there was no reason to listen before this, now look, you've got a cliffhanger. There's a cliffhanger involved for 2016. And this year's been a shit show, man. We lost Bowie. We lost Prince. We lost Glenn Fry. We gained Trump. We lost and gained. Literally, I don't know what's worse on that fucking list. Okay. Lily lost an eye. I mean, it's just been terrifying. So Chuck Hedspeth is it's one of two ways. He's either sending us an awesome gift that will make us forget all of the terrible things of 2016, or he's sending us a final solution to the terrible things that happened in 2016, sparing us from the shit show of the next 4 years. Perhaps. I don't know. I can't figure it out, but tune in a couple of weeks for the last episode when our friend Chuck Hedspeth sends his, why am I giving his last name? You know why? Because I want the authorities to know who the fuck sent this envelope when we open it and die. When there's some sort of nuclear explosion here in the Mexican section of Aleppo and we get taken out. Yes?
I'm not sure I'm available to record that week.
What are you trying to say? He actually said, no, make sure Lily's there and make sure she's sitting 3 feet away from you. You want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail, get on a plane, and then come back and revisit it 2 days later, because that's the most important stew in the universe. Were there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We are playing on a level that most will never see.